Welcome to the Dunlop Tomahawk GNCC. We're here for the 7th round of the 2017 AMSOIL GNCC Racing Series presented by Maxxis, an AMA National Championship. We're out here in Odessa, New York to see the best off-road ATV racers face off. Due to Johnny Gallagher's recent success, it shows that it's still anyone's game. Now let's join Rodney Tomlin down on the starting line.
That drives you to on Friday night to get off work, to load that trailer up, pack the family up, and head so many hours someplace to go and be here on these Saturdays with us?
You know, like I said, it's being with my family. We've traveled so many hours and days and months in the motorhome, getting places and spending time together. And any other sport that I look at, you know, basketball, baseball, if you're not a coach or helping on the team, you're not really involved with your kids' sport. Racing, it's morning, noon, and night. You're with them, training them, trying to stay a positive influence on them, be their mechanic, and doing the nationals. My son and daughter, they're not wanting to do it yet. They're just loving doing the local series, and they think might do it next year. But like I said, when we come here, everyone's in the trailer helping me get ready and working on my bike and giving me my gear, and it's a great feeling to do everything that you can do for them. And right now, right here, they're doing it for me, so I love that feeling.
Hey, man, that's what GNCC Racing's all about. Brian Wolfe, be watching for him, the 341 coming up here in XC1 Pro Row coming up in just a few moments. Right now, though, what we've all been waiting for out here on the starting line this afternoon, and, of course, on the you riders anyway, the course description and the great things that you folks have to look forward to. Of course, Mr. Jared Bolton and Mr. Ryan Eccles, our junior trail bosses.
Thanks, Rodney. Yeah, we have a great track for you guys today. You guys are going to take off from the start and you go up towards the finish. You guys will bypass the finish the first time through, just like the morning did. You make your way back up through and into a little section of field or woods before you jump out into some trackside to the 1. And you'll jump back in the woods. You have some nice, fun trail to bring you out into the 2. And you'll get into another big grass track. That'll bring you out, and you'll go down into the woods. There's a big mud hole down there, guys. There's a couple different lines. You guys shouldn't have any trouble down there. That'll come up to the 3. You have a little short piece of field before going back into the woods. Make your way out to the 4. Now at the 4, you guys will do something a little different. You guys will go across the road and down the hill. Now everybody listen up. You guys are going to drop down into a creek, and trust me, it's steep, and be very careful. You don't come flying down over there too quick. From there, you work your way through the creek and then climb all the way back up. A nice trail will bring you around to the 5.
Get to the 5. It's good, open stuff. Take you all the way to the 6. Through there, right past the 6, you got a pretty good little hill climb, MF PowerPoint. It's a lot of fun. If you start to feel like you're not going to make it, look around. There's a couple of different lines. You guys shouldn't have any trouble with it. You guys, the afternoon guys, you're the cream of the crop, so you guys won't have any trouble. Work your way up that. You're going to come back down the hill just a little further over. And then you got some more little ups and downs. It'll take you to the 7-mile mark. Open trail all the way out to the 8, which is in the far corner of this big grass track field. Guys, you know what to do in those grass tracks. You stay on the track. You go between the double arrows. You don't cut to the insides of the turns. You're going to be penalized if you do that. But not just that. I don't want to see you hurt because you don't know if there's rocks or logs or Sasquatch laying out in that tall grass. So work your way from there. Little piece of woods. It'll take you over. You're going to cross over the main road. New section. You guys are the first ones to do it all weekend. Got a little bit of grass track that'll take you into the woods at the 9-mile mark. Technical woods back around. When you get to the end of those woods, when you pop back out, there's an option. Left is the fast line, but it could get really wet really quick. We're calling that the Blackwater section. It looks like one of the old Blackwater mud bogs. If you don't want to go through that, go to the right. Take you through a little piece of woods. You guys you'll tie back together out in the field. Won't have any trouble. Field, back around, back in the woods, 10-mile mark, out into the pro pits, field again, back around to the finish. It's going to be about 11.3 miles for you guys. A lot of fun. Be safe. Have fun. Pay attention to the arrows, guys.
All righty. Thanks a lot, Bolton. And I want to remind everyone, Safety first. GNCC Racing, like all motorsports, can be dangerous. Racers, now that you've had an opportunity to inspect the course, have heard the race procedures and a description of the course, if you feel either you or your machine is not prepared, then now is the time for you to withdraw for a complete refund of your entry fee. No questions asked. It is your responsibility to operate your machine in a safe manner, maintaining control at all times. Extreme caution is required when approaching areas with high concentrations of fans. Do not take unnecessary risks that endanger the safety of fans. You will be penalized for reckless racing. And race fans, due to the nature of GNCC racing, remember there is no fence barrier around the course. It is your responsibility to keep yourself and your children a safe distance from the course. Never turn your back on oncoming racers, and remember, stay off the racetrack. And finally, for the safety of everyone, unauthorized drones are prohibited at GNCC and will be confiscated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to ask a blessing on today's race, Mr. Ricky Towery.
Thank you, Rodney. Hey, let's go to the Lord and have a word of prayer together this afternoon. Heavenly Father, once again, we thank you for bringing us all together safely so we can come out here and enjoy this sport, Lord, that we love dearly so much. You blessed us with such a beautiful day and such a beautiful place. Just watch over these riders this afternoon, Lord. Keep them safe. Let them go out there and have a good time together. We do thank you for this landowner for letting us use this beautiful piece of property. Continue to watch over our military men and women in all parts of the world. Lord, be with our leaders each and every day. Lord, we've mentioned some prayer requests here earlier about some families that lost some loved ones. We just ask you be with them. Maybe they can find some comfort through you in the days to come. Lord, we just want to thank you for letting us be here. We know there's a lot of people who would like to be here today, but for different reasons they can't. We thank you for letting us be here. Let us have some fun this afternoon. Take us home safely, and we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please remain standing, stand at attention, remove those caps, and cross those hearts as we honor the greatest nation in the world with the playing of our national anthem. And now, let's meet our starting lineup for this Dunlop Tomahawk GNCC. Turning our attention to turn number 1, where all of our 14 XE1 Pro riders are staged and ready to take their place on that starting line here today in accordance to points positions heading in to this 7th round of AMSOIL GNCC Racing. Rolling to the line first today, he rides aboard the number 1, a 2-time GNCC champion with 5 wins to his credit here in 2017 on a WFR Yamaha, backed by Max's Fly, FMF, and MXP, Walker Fowler. Rolling to the line today, second in points. He rides aboard the 521 from West Union, West Virginia on a CST Tires Induction Solution LSR Hyper Spider Graphics backed Honda, Adam McGill, the Gator. Rolling to the line today, third in points aboard the number 5. They call him the Bidwell Bullet from Bidwell, Ohio on a Coastal Racing Yamaha, Bryson Neal. Rolling to the line next, he is fourth in points. He rides aboard the number 3, the rider that holds the title of the most wins ever in a GNCC racing on a Max's Fly Racing AMSOIL Pack Suzuki. 6-time GNCC champion from Sunbury, Pennsylvania, Chris BORICH. Rolling to the line today, fifth in points. He's aboard the number 4 from Casca, Pennsylvania on a JMR ATV Riders.com backed Honda, the Snake, Jared McClure. Rolling to the line next today is sixth in points aboard the number 7 from Glenville, Pennsylvania on a GBC Motorsports Canyon Fly Racing backed Honda, LW7, Landon WOLFE. Rolling to the line next, he is 7th in points, coming off his first win in his 23-year XC1 Pro Racing career at the X Factor GNCC from Aurora, Ohio. GBC Racing, Fly Racing, HMF, and Yamaha's Johnny G, Johnny Gallagher. Rolling to the line next, he is 8th in points from Grain Valley, Missouri on a Shockworth Motorsports Spider Graphics GBC Tires backed Honda, Tucker WYATT. He is 9th in points, riding aboard the number 8 from Richford, New York on a Dillinger's Club GBC Motorsports Moose Racing backed Honda, the Richford Rocket, Marty Christofferson. Rolling to the line next in 10th place in points aboard the number 10 from Akron, Ohio on the B&R Motorsports Max's Pro Graphics backed Yamaha, Josh Merritt. Rolling to the line next aboard the number 14 from Denville, New Jersey, XC1 Pro Class rookie on a JMR ATV Riders.com backed Honda, Randy Hamilton. Another XC1 Pro Class rookie aboard the number 741 from Myersville, Maryland on a Ye Olde Cycle Barn Walls Hedrick Racing ATV Innovation Solo Pilot Pack Suzuki, Wesley Wall. Rolling to the line next, we talked to him just prior to the race. He rides aboard the 341. A part-time racer, full-time family man from Medina, Ohio on a WOLFE Racing backed Honda, Brian Wall. And last and certainly not least, aboard the number 201 from Carroll, Ohio, XC1 Pro Class rookie on a Pierce Performance Maxxis Moose Racing backed Yamaha, CODY Collier. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for this Dunlop Tomahawk GNCC. As the riders converge their way onto the starting line at this point, my friends, we make our way down and prepare ourselves for this 2-hour racing extravaganza on a near 11.3-mile long race course that these riders are going to be traversing here through the hills of western New York. Our first stop in the great state of New York in 2017. We'll be back here again in September when we return to Unadilla for the famed Unadilla GNCC. But I'm telling you, friends, this is where it's at today in western New York. Off-Road Association Racing. All eyes on this one, all ears on this one, and good to see the bright and shining and smiling faces that are out here as well as we turn our attention up to that first turn region where Ricky Towery waits patiently to begin the sequence here today that will get us off and rolling into this 2-hour racing extravaganza. Riders on row 1 will be racing for a $250 Wiseco Whole Shot Award, and our friends from All Balls, Bearings, and Component also involved in that with $100 Whole Shot Award going to our good friends there in the XC2 Pro-Am class. But all attention has been turned to Ricky Towery at this point as he has began the starting sequence. We are now less than 1 minute away from getting the show up and rolling here today, and Ricky resumes his position in that first turn right now to begin his conducting of the start sequence that's about to get underway here. It's like the maestro stepping up to his podium, and the blue flag is out. Shut them down, guys. Shut them down. Shut them down. Shut them down. Shut them down. It's about time to go GNCC racing here in beautiful New York. And I got to ask you, Western New York, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Wow, that's pretty good. Oh, my, look at all the folks that are out here with us. I think we can do better than that. We're in Wyanoa territory, folks. I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you ready to go GNCC racing? 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling in our Dunlop Tomahawk GNCC. And they're off. Who's going to grab the $250? Look at this, the number 7 of Landon Wolfe and Chris BORICH. Chris BORICH, the number 3, squeaking it out. But Landon Wolfe gets the early lead out there. Josh Merritt back in about a 3rd or 4th place position. Man, what a great start there. $100 up for grabs in their XC2 Pro-Am up next. Greg Covert, Devin Fionn, Hunter Hart, all 3 big New York riders, and right here out of Wyanoa, along with Kenny Schick, Levi Cohen, Kenneth Kelly, Bryson Hobbs, Matthew Lindell, Cameron Bruce, Brandon Eichert, and Sam Huff, all ready to roll in 10 seconds. And they're off. Who's going to grab the early lead in this one? Oh, my, it's the General Lee, the 424. I'm not sure. That might have been Cameron Bruce. Not 100% sure. We'll get the actual number. I thought it was 424. Getting it from, must have not been the same number on his bike as on his helmet tag there, so we'll get that in a moment. Bet 8 coming up next. 427, that was it, so we were close there. That was Cameron Bruce. So we go to the event A, 28 plus in 10 seconds. A.J. Kuntz, Jeff Pickens, also Corey Blinkowitz, Thomas Galen Marlboro Man, along with James Colvick, John Lynn, Nicholas Carnelli, Brian Bondercheck, Jeremy Fontaine, Mike Godzik, Brian Purvis, Jesse Akins, Brandon Morick, Eric Vallejo, Kevin Patterson, and more. And it's going to be the 28th of A.J. Kuntz. Tom Kuntz going to be on our Motorsports back machine. Berkey Oil Company as well, and GBC Tire back. College A, Morgan Flannery, Scott Parson, Tyler Swindle, Joey Lambright, Drew Landers, Nicholas Royalty, Terry Joe Hine, Matthew Reese, Michael Kidd, Justin Lord, Connor Spear. 10 seconds. Ben Kowalski, Garrison Paul, also Joseph Yerrickson, Alan Rhodes, Kevin Carr, Aiden Henninger, Tucker Snow, Tyler Kemp, Tyler White, James Sabella, Andy Tavelli, Jacob Scott, Andrew Banjowski, Seth Wilson, McCain Jennings, Sean Clauda, Eli Kiger, Dusty Bell, Eric Schnapp, Tanner Walker, Brody Lamoureux. Also, Andrew Herring. Didn't catch the number on that. Was to go to the Junior A 22 plus class. Steve Cover, Matthew King, Jake Callan, James Mauger, Andrew Connors, Jason Armstrong, Kyle Percy, James Pat Lane, Sean McCormick, Adam Haddo, Cody Howell, Dustin Gorick, Doug Howard, Dean Tarta, Josh Haney. Looking at Corey Clark, Lucas Fuller, Thomas Barrett, Brad Amon, Ben Brink, Robert Mapp. 10 seconds. Robbie Pico-Rory, Dylan Halo, Cameron Labar, Michael McAvoy, Alan Zawadzki, Eric Snyder, Zachary Dean, Zach Wright, Aaron Grodzinski, and Brody Livingood. Who's living good this day? 744, Zach Wright out of Granite Falls, North Carolina on the DeRisi Racing Tire Spine CTC back machine. Senior AB, Wes Stone, Leon's Barnabosis, Yuri Kochergan, Mark Potter, Kyle Lawrence, Ryan Tompkins, Sean Harkness, Danny Thompson, Wade Edwards, Jeffrey Sykes. Also looking at Stephen Holmes, Adam Rivas, Carl Meisner. 10 seconds. Travis Bishop, Ray Salzman, Sean LaBruna, Michael Hayes, Jeff Packer, John Kemp, Michael Smith, Thomas Lawbell, Chris Berry, and Andy Cooper. Senior AB. $458. That's my address. Michael Hayes out of Rocky Base, Georgia on a green cut Honda. Vet B class. Lyle Morrison, Alan Tuttle, Jeremy Gouchard, Aaron Hendershot, Adam Sadlon, Justin Kerr, John Salsa, Zachary Phillips, William Key, Timothy Streeter, Brian Vasco, David Napo, and also Richard Williams. 10 seconds. And the Vet B 30-plus class off and rolling here in New York. Odessa, New York, I should say. Not old New York. $386, Justin Kerr from Waynesburg, PA. JC Racing, Barnhart's Honda, and Jim's Racing sponsored, right? College B, 16 to 21-year-olds. Donald Boylan, Michael Anderson, Kelton Harbin, John Caleb, Cade Vanderpool, Caleb Edwards, David Ford, Nathan Burkholder, Chase Petro. 10 seconds. Justin Kurthy, Emily Wise, Dylan McClellan, Dustin Card, Dustin Dean, Doug Higgins, Clifford Gooseman, Cole Burlew, Jeffrey Middleton, Braxton Ray, Jason Rapp, Ryan Sherwood, Chandler Berner, Dylan Marshman, Michael Orabello, Dawson Burnham, also Asen Stevens, Devin Dean, Jacob Spalding, Cole Jackwitz, Logan Weisenauer, Cody Vandeliner, and Cameron Abe. And last and certainly not least is going to be our Junior B 22-plus class. David Kite, Justin Keller, Charlie Rogers, William Wallace, Evan Timko, Neil Tolson, Jackson McGee, Curtis Tateman. 10 seconds. Mike Percy, Josh Costa, Cody Berry, Andrew Phillips, Evan Soda, John Minehan, Jordan Wilkins, Anthony Mitchell, Reese Parvin, Cody Featherston, Brian Tuttle, Andrew Porter, Colton Harkness, Grant Pick, Zachary Trask, Chris McFarland, also John Sutton and Ryan Bobus. It is the 400 of Joshua Costa from North Smithfield, Rhode Island. Fly Racing, Fox Shocks, BNR Motorsports backed rider, grabbing our last hole shot. An early lead of the day here this afternoon, as that's going to wrap things up here on the start. Riders out traversing 11.3 miles of race course here in the great Western New York region. And, of course, we're going to find out how it all pans out. Can Johnny Gallagher really make it 2 in a row? Will Walker Fowler get back in his winning way, or can someone else step up and take the win? GNCC Live continues after this.
We handle your races, your jumps, and your trails. Isn't it time you give your daily driver the same love? AMSOIL Signature Series Synthetic Motor Oil delivers 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard. AMSOIL also offers a full family of dirt bike lubricants, giving you above and beyond fortification for your weekday and weekend vehicles. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
As riders and racers, we understand the need to get quality parts, apparel, and accessories fast. We have the horsepower of multiple warehouses to make sure your gear, OEM parts, or accessories make it to your door quickly. Check out our easy-to-use website and experience customer service that takes the whole shot. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Here he is, Walker Fowler, Grand National Cross Country XC1 Pro Class Champion.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. I'm Mikey Waynes alongside Michael Swift, who got third place today out of the 4x4 Pro. He's going to join Rodney Tomlin and I today. Speaking of Rodney, Rodney's making his way up here, so he'll be with us here in the booth in just a moment. To give you a recap, row number 1 out of the hole shot, it was Chris BORICH who got it for just a split second, but as they headed into there on the track, it was Landon Wolfe. Number 7, L-Dub out in front. We're getting a good look at our pro riders rolling through now. I did not catch who was out in front. It looked like LW was still out in front unless someone was, and there's Johnny Gallagher, the number 13 of Johnny Gallagher, coming off that big win at the X Factor, making his way through. So, Michael Swift, welcome to the studio, man. How's life? How you doing after this morning?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Let's keep.
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's the morning time. Got a good race this morning. I'm excited to watch these guys race this afternoon.
It should be exciting. Glad to have you in here with us, and hopefully you can hear Michael Swift in there. I didn't hear him in my ear, so he said he's happy to be here and excited to announce with us. So hopefully you're all right. Let's double check. I think we're okay, but maybe it's just my headset. So Michael Swift, we'll get you involved regardless in just a moment. But second row out of the XC2 class, our front runner out there was Cameron Bruce. As we got a look at him right there, so we're seeing some of our XC2 guys working their way through the AMSOIL section right here. And coming into this one, of course, the big story out of the X Factor was the fact that Johnny Gallagher took that win, his first of his career after a long, long wait. And Walker Fowler taking second place last weekend. And Walker probably, if we know him, he's looking for a little redemption out here in Odessa, New York. And it's hard to believe round number 7's already here upon us here at the Dunlop Tires Tomahawk in Odessa, New York. We got a 10.5-mile track for you today. 2-hour pro race this afternoon on GNCC Live. And so far, the number 7 of Landon Wolfe. So maybe Johnny Gallagher started something here, taking the big win last weekend. And maybe these other guys got a feeling that, hey, I can come out here and make a name for myself and maybe capture myself my own win. Maybe that's what LW's out there thinking right now. Michael, let me ask you, what's the mindset for a guy like Johnny Gallagher coming off a big win in the last round coming into this one?
Well, he proved something to himself, working for a lot of years to get there. He's got a lot of adrenaline coming into this one, and he's just got to keep that going and prove to himself that he can do it. So we'll see.
That's exactly right. So getting a good look at our pro riders out in front and still all battling together, less than a second separating. It looks like, 3rd through 5th place right now as they head into the woods section. So not a whole lot of separation in this one to this point. Still pretty tight racing conditions. So Adam McGill, he is second on points on the season. Just to kind of give you a rundown, Bryson Neal, he's coming off a rough race. Bryson finished 15th at the X Factor, so that was a rough day. He is going to be looking to do a little better out here this weekend. And we heard, you guys didn't hear, but this morning when Rodney Tomlin was down CST Tires pre-race report, he talked to Bryson Neal, and Bryson talked just trying to get out here, and it's his turn. It's his turn to be center of the box. He said, you know what, Johnny got his first one last weekend, or a couple rounds ago. I am looking to get my first win of the season here this weekend. So I think we're going to see a very focused Bryson Neal. I mean, you come out of off of a race where you finished 15th place. You got to be looking to make some changes, and I think we're going to see something special out of Bryson Neal today in that Coastal Racing team. So Rodney Tomlin back here in the booth with us, getting set up. And we're off and rolling here in Odessa, New York. And Landon Wolfe, the guy out in front, last time we checked, we're seeing some passes made. These are taking a look here. Let's see. Ooh. It's going to get ugly real quick. There we go. That was quick and painless. It wasn't bad. So that's Chris, I believe that was Chris BORICH right there. Coming around in, we're getting another look here. So Mike, the track conditions this morning, obviously totally different coming off of the X Factor. What are the track conditions like out there today in Odessa?
The track's good. It's fast flowing. The fields are dry in most spots. They do have some wet spots. The woods are good, moist. There's a lot of slippery spots in the woods, but it's rutting up good, and that's holding your lines and letting you carry your speed through. There's Rory. You know, something I didn't think about yesterday walking the track is I didn't think we'd have much problems with lappers and bottlenecks, but this morning there's about 6 spots that we had a lot of trouble, so there's a lot of change up during our race, so we'll see what happens here.
And I think we're actually going to get ready to, talking about the racing conditions. It's totally different from last round at the X Factor, and I believe we're just going to take a look real quick here at the highlights from the X Factor. And I can tell you right now, this is early on in that one. There is Landon Wolfe right there, and the reason I'm telling you it's early on is because not everyone's completely covered in mud yet, but it's coming. It was difficult to say the least. I mean, top to bottom. Landon Wolfe with the early lead right there, the number 7 at the X Factor. And coming down the line through the woods section there. There's McGill. So McGill had the lead out in front early after he took it away from Landon Wolfe. And as these guys work their way through, again, you can see what we went through with all of the mud and this and that. About the only guy we could distinguish was Walker FOWLER. He had I think we had a trash bag over his gear, and it kind of helped us out keep track of those guys. There's another shot. Landon Wolfe coming through, and that is Walker FOWLER behind him in second. There's the Superman cape we talked about. And that part right there, that part of the track was sneaky, and there's a good shot. I can't tell you how many ATVs we saw in that exact demoralized condition a couple weekends ago in Peru, Indiana. But the man of the day, well, that was Johnny Gallagher, the number 13, was able to work up into the front of the pack and take his first career victory. There's a shot of Adam McGill. You wouldn't know it if you didn't see the rear number plate on Adam McGill, as everybody looks just about identical out there. And Walker FOWLER, you see, trying to work around a couple riders. There's Chris BORICH working through. And just look at those conditions. That's just less than a month ago at the X Factor, and see how tight the racing conditions were out there. It was something else. And there's Walker FOWLER through. Just the mud was just unreal. The pits, I couldn't believe the conditions a few weeks back in getting fresh water on the hands, getting a splash, and heading back out there. In the battle toward the end, it was between Walker and Johnny Gallagher. You see Adam McGill getting the pit stop there. But at the end of the day, who was it? It was no one else but Johnny GNC, Johnny Gallagher, taking the huge win. And boy, the sight at the end of that one with Walker FOWLER jumping off his ATV and the big hug for Johnny G. Couldn't be happier for him.
Yep, and I tell you, folks, that was exciting for everyone, myself included. If you followed GNCC for any length of time, or even happen to be new, for some reason, Johnny Gallagher is one of those type of people that everybody loves to be in his corner. I mean, he is what GNCC racing is all about, and to see what happened there a few weeks ago at X Factor was certainly amazing. There's no doubt about it. Was talking with Walker FOWLER about it this morning. He told me, he said, he goes, I learned a few things this year. He said, yeah, I'm kind of learning that anything is possible. He says, and right now, he says, I never dreamed that Donald Trump will be my president. Never thought Johnny Gallagher would win a GNCC. And the third thing he says is, next thing you know, we're going to find Sasquatch.
Yeah, and he might be right. You know what? Bolton talked about finding Bigfoot out there.
Well,
so,
I heard him talking about that.
Anything's possible, right?
No doubt about it. And as we take a look at this track, it says 10.5 miles, but I think during the actual race discussion, there might have been some other changes made because Bolton actually said somewhere in the neighborhood of 11.3 miles, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, a 10.5 to 11-mile track. It's going to be a gnarly one, and was a gnarly one there, as we heard Michael talking about it. Had its moments and its areas of I believe, challenge this morning. I know that we had over 300 riders on the racetrack. That's saying quite a bit, and especially coming off of what we came off of a couple of weeks ago, having very few riders in the race and then having a lot more in the race. That had to be a little bit different feel for you. What's it like, Michael? I mean, you never know going from one race to another where you're going to have a whole bunch of lap traffic to contend with or whether it's going to be the normal.
Yeah, you got to be prepared for everything and anything because you can't always predict the weather, and you know some tracks are the amount of riders on the course is going to be larger than others. A lot of it's experience, just gaining knowledge like Johnny, that may have been a big contribution to him, in his win, just knowledge and years of seeing it in the different conditions. So
what was it like this morning as far as, I know we took a little extra time to clear the track this morning, and rightfully so, obviously, because we had a few guys out there. So it obviously had some challenge out there, I guess.
There was a mix-up of a lot of things. There was dry spots, and then there were spots of waters running out of the ground, and there was a half a dozen spots that the lap traffic was painful for us, and
especially on a big 4x4.
Are there a lot of tight wood sections and stuff out there these guys are going to be faced with today?
I thought it was fast flowing. The tight spots are where the mud holes are, and I think you're going to see a lot of lead changes.
Because of that?
Because that's what happened all morning in our class. So
really,
we'll see.
So basically, you might not be as well off to be leading early on as you would be maybe like the last couple of turns coming into the finish line, right?
Correct.
And some races it seems to work out best for that. We've been here at Tomahawk where it had been best to lead because of dusty conditions, and you wanted to try to stretch it out and put as much distance between yourself and the rest of the field as possible. But here on a day like today, it is certainly a little bit different. Got some amateur racing there, doing a little bit of pit stop. Looks like, what are they doing? Camelback stuff?
Looks like a camelback is getting a drink of water.
Now, there you go. I mean, what was the temperature like for you guys this morning? I know it seemed to be rather comfortable, but when the sun come out here on top of this mountain, did you guys notice it while you were riding this morning?
I did. I like the heat. The hotter, the better for me, but, I think it warmed up, but, I didn't think it played a big factor in our morning race, and I don't know that it will this afternoon, The sun stay out behind them clouds.
Right, it kind of dances in and out. I mean, 1 minute it feels like it's 80-some degrees, and the next minute it feels like it's 72 again, so it all depends on, I guess, where the sun happens to be positioning itself today. And, with this particular event right here being in New York, it's a little off schedule. We actually had a couple of postponements. We've already had one of the makeups, our other makeup for the John Penton GNCC, coming up here in a couple of weeks. And this race and John Penton was the last race for a couple of different individuals. And we got some visitors, believe it or not, that come in from the United Kingdom and also from Austria. We got a gentleman by the name of Jay Gropel that spent a lot of time over here. And Michael, I think you probably know a little bit about him, huh?
Yeah, Jay started talking to me over a year ago about coming, and his dream was to come race GNCC. So we made it possible today. I think he had a lot of fun. He learned a lot. His goal was just to come do two, and I have a feeling he may want to come back.
Well, I know we had a chance to catch up with him and talk about the wonders and glories of what it's like to be here from Austria racing GNCC.
Through social media and how it's evolved, and people in other countries and other states watch what we do. Somebody asked a question of, hey, I want to race the series, but I can't afford to transport back and forth because I'm so far away. Is there somebody that will do the transportation and the prepping for us, and where we can just fly in? And it kind of evolved from there. Different people see that they're coming from out of the country and that it's possible to still do that. So Jay Gropel messaged me a year and a half ago about possibly doing it, and I told him we'd be glad to. It kind of helps promote our brand and our machines that we ride and show people the capabilities and what we do.
And my big dream is 1 or 2 races starting USA with the GNCC, by the fastest guys in the world. Finished and so drive good and hard with what I can.
I'm one of the biggest sponsors of Jay, and I try to help him to achieve his his dream, because he wants to race here in the US. So we sponsor him with our shocks. Try to sponsor him with some money so that he can achieve his dream.
Well, as we pick the action back up, Landon Wolfe still leading here, and Jay Gropel, glad to have him on board with us. You know, it just goes to show you, I mean, we just got a little taste there, but how globally recognized GNCC racing is, whether it be UTVs, ATVs, motorcycles, whatever the case may be. They're watching all over the world right now.
They are. I think the following here in the U.S. is massive, but I think we don't understand how large the following is overseas in other countries, and that's what Jay and Graham Whitcomb is trying to tell us, is that there's a massive crowd watching this.
And I absolutely believe it. I know working with Quad Radio and stuff, a lot of my interviews, a lot of my traffic comes from the UK and different places like that. So not a surprise for me as we roll through this one. And LW, man, what do you think about that? That's something that, you know, we were talking with him earlier today and, you know, giving him some hard times and stuff. But at the same time, we know that this kid has been on target and on track to do better and to see better results. And riding like he's riding right now, hey, who knows? I'm not going to call him a winner early on because we're still really early in this race. But he's got himself in a really good position to possibly finish the best he's ever finished.
Well, I think you're right. And I think he kind of alluded to that this morning in the pre-race interview. He's coming off round 6. It was his best finish of the year in 5th. And he said, well, you know, I know conditions were this and that, and some guys were having trouble. You guys are all out on there on the same track.
Right.
You're all running the exact same track and all the same conditions. So I think you throw that out the door. I think he's being humble or modest, if you will. But I honestly think that's given him a vote of confidence here coming into round number 7.
I think so. I honestly believe that, and I think we're seeing it translated out here at the start alone. And that right there, I mean, that really had to be a part of it. I mean, coming off of a race like he had, grabbing an early lead like that, I mean, that right there is something that is going to boost you up, I think, as far as confidence is concerned. And Michael, you can probably attest to that.
Yeah, you know, he's got a good start. You know, if he hits his marks, he's going to have a good day. But hitting those marks, and they start getting into some of the lap traffic on the second lap, and some of those spots we had trouble in, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I think that you're absolutely right, and that's where I think experience comes into play. And you know, you talk we talk about that. Johnny talked about that. You know, being experienced and stuff, and he had been in every situation and known to man before and lost races and was able to figure it out there that last race. But that's just a part of the learning process. You know, these guys get fast, they run up front, but even Walker Fowler in the early beginning and tries of his XC1 career, I mean, he was running up front, but he took him a while still to figure out how to win against those guys when he was racing them head-to-head. It was a lot easier, and I heard guys talking about that from the XC2 class this morning, how much easier it is to run top 5 overall from the second row than it is to run top 5 overall from the front row out there against those competitors out there that you're racing against. And it doesn't seem like it would make that much, it wouldn't work out like that, but it does kind of make sense if you pay attention to how this GNCC stuff works.
He talked about it a little bit. He talked about being XC2. He was the thorn in the side of the XC1 guys. Now that role's reversed, you know.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And that's funny how that all works out for these guys out there like that. But, you know, it is a big learning curve. And just like for you, Michael, I'm sure, you know, racing 4x4s, when they threw on the Pro 4x4 title on that, I'm sure the competition level elevated quite a bit.
It has. It's grown so much over my career. It's unbelievable. And, you know, it's only going to get better. The competition just keeps coming. The guys are younger, faster. Where we're going with the machines is unbelievable. So it's amazing.
So where are you going next with your machine, man?
You know, we've been trying to get some new stuff out. It's just, man, it takes forever to go through that process with the OEM. You know, a new model takes 3 to 4 years, and we've been working on it for a long time. And something always happens at the end and puts it off another year because they don't meet the deadline. So I hope it's coming soon. I'm excited.
So basically, something's in the works right now. We know that. That's good news to know about that, because we know that they're looking to advance and move forward. And as long as we're advancing, moving forward, we know that there's still a lot of excitement and a lot of involvement to come in the future. You're watching GNCC Live. I'm Rodney Tomlin, along with my co-host here, Mr. Mikey Waynes, and also joining us this week and probably in the future quite a bit, Mr. Michael Swift. He is an a 4x4 Pro class. Is that XC 4x4? How do they call it? What is the technical definition of that?
The technical is 4x4 Pro.
Okay, and that is the premier class at the 10 o'clock race, and that one's always, actually, it's gained a lot of notoriety over the years, man. I mean, your guys are getting a pretty big following as far as people coming to watch these races and know who you are these days, man.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'm excited to still be a part of it and continue with it.
It's
I
funny.
look forward to the future.
I do too. It's funny. I can remember. I'm thinking back to 2005. We sat at the Orange Crush GNCC, and I got Michael Swift sleeping in a tent. Him and some of his buddies, hair sticking up in 100 different. He said, "Hey man, won't you let me wear the GoPro today and let me show you how to beat Mike Penland?" Man, there's been a lot of things happen since that day, hasn't there, Michael Swift?
We've been through a lot. We've made a lot of memories, a lot of friends, and it's awesome to be a part of this and to see where we've been and where we're going, and it's amazing.
It is, and to see what, I mean, just the 4x4 Pro class, the UTVs, how they have exploded and things have gone so well. Back on the screen action right now as we are closing up on a lap 1 complete. Looks like is this our new leader here that we're watching? Is that Walker Fowler?
I believe that's Walker out in front now, and it looked like I didn't quite catch the last one, but I think McGill might have moved into second.
He looked like he was either looking back to see what was going on, trying to stretch his hand out or something like that, or maybe waving somebody to, "Come on, boys, let's go, let's go. Whatever the case may be, we are starting to see this thing fall into pattern now as we near the completion of this first lap of racing. According to my calculations, we're somewhere in the neighborhood of about 30 minutes right now, and the official time, aside from my calculations here, would be well, I'm not getting maybe I'm not getting anything on my story. Well, we do know that Marty Christopherson is second, the Richmond Rocket, and one of the great things about that is he's from right here in New York. He's an XC1 Pro class rider. He won last year's XC2 Pro-Am class and is hoping to have his best ride of the day here. He said he's shooting for maybe a top 5. He's gotten close a couple times, but even said it would be nice. He said, "I'm starting to set my sights toward not only just top 5, but looking toward podium because I've been consistently in the top 10 so far this year. Now it's time to set those goals a little bit more." And by golly, I think one of those goals might be coming right real fast. And if he gets that right off the bat, man, then it's going to be looking for wins real soon.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. And maybe, just maybe, he saw maybe Caitlin Osborne got in his ear a little bit. She took first place this morning out of the WXC, so maybe she's got had some tricks up her sleeve telling Marty about that, helping him out right here. But, boy, second place after 1, that's a pretty solid spot to be in if you're Marty Christopherson.
No doubt, the Richmond Rocket, Dillinger Cup sponsors. If you happen to be down in the Binghamton, New York area, stop by and say, "Man, thanks for sponsoring that guy because he really deserves it." And he's really doing a good job for you guys right now. As we pick up the action here, I've got timing and scoring is all I've got with no names listed on my computer yet. So we'll get that sorted out, and we'll actually try to pull it up on online with everybody else out there. Uh-oh. That's not good news.
Sounds like the website's down, too.
so
well, go figure, right? X Factor, we had the mud to deal with, but this weekend, we'll get it worked out. It shouldn't take us too long here.
We'll get a couple of good camera
hustling.
shots and get everybody where everybody's at and what they're doing and everything. It won't be too hard at all. So,
but an exciting one. I mean, what do you think this does? I mean, after the X Factor, and the elements were the elements, it was what it was. Like I was saying, everybody's out there racing the same race. But what do you think that did for the rest of the pro guys seeing Johnny win?
Inspired a lot of people, to be honest with you. I mean, Michael, you're a racer and you're out in the pits a lot, but don't you think that'd be kind of inspiring seeing somebody like Johnny Gallagher break the win streak and Walker Fowler? All of a sudden you see, hey, it is possible to be done, man. And if Johnny Gallagher could do it, why can't I? And I'm not meaning to take anything with Johnny. I'm just saying that's the mindset. If somebody else can do it, why can't I? So I think that might be what we're seeing. I mean, these guys are looking for notoriety in their careers, and they want to do better. And why not, man? Try to get him while he's down. Maybe get something in the back of Walker Fowler's head. Try to get up there and loosen him up a little bit.
Yeah, it's never give up. Never give up, and anything's possible. You put the hard work and determination into it, and anything's possible. So, I think it shows everybody that it can be done by any of them at any minute. So,
well, as we continue to watch, and we do apologize for the technical difficulties, it is kind of tough to keep up to date with these guys. As soon as we get all of our leaders in the same shots and can follow along with them well enough, we'll be able to get a better assessment. As we said, we're having some issues with timing and scoring, and we do apologize for that at this moment. But hey, folks, as we all know, in the world of off-road racing and GNCC, anything can and will happen, and it does. And you've just got to be able to adapt and move on, and that's what folks out on the track are doing, and that's what we're doing here at RacerTV.com. I want to remind you folks, if you're following along or not following along, be sure and do so with GNCC. We got our social media with Facebook is / GNCC Racing. Our Instagram is at GNCC_racing. Of course, Twitter handle is at GNCC Racing, and our new Snapchat handle is at GNCC Live. Be sure and check them out, follow them all, and stick around as we get it all sorted out and let you know how this Dunlop Tomahawk GNCC happens as we continue in just a moment.
GNCC is Bald Eagle 50 cal, cowboy boots, diesel trucks, Copenhagen, Bush Light kind of men.
I'm a sore loser.
I'm a sore loser. Losing is not an option for me.
Be the best.
The best. The best. You have to have the best equipment under the hood. That's why I only use
Cometic products in my engines.
Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket.
Cometic gasket, a superior quality gasket
for those of us who demand the highest level of performance.
I'm Barry Hawk, 8-time GNCC champion, current Coastal Racing team manager. Coastal Racing depends on Evans coolant because there is a lot of variables in GNCC racing. Toughest, most demanding sports there is. From my experience, without a doubt, Evans is the way to go. We have it in all of our race bikes, our race ATVs, our UTVs. It is for sure, without a doubt, a must on our race team. The pros use Evans coolant, and so should you.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. Rodney Tomlin here, along with Mikey Waynes and Michael Swift as we roll through the Dunlop Tomahawk GNCC. Wrapping up lap one a few moments ago where we had Landon WOLFE leading Marty Christopher, or excuse me, take that back. Walker Fowler had moved into the lead as Marty Christopherson running back in the number 2 spot. Still looking to see how things are faring for LW7. Landon WOLFE, who was leading this race a little early on. Right now, apologizing for the technical difficulties of scoring, but they are working on the issues right now to get that sorted out. For any of you folks that are watching live timing and scoring, are trying to, that will be rectified here shortly. And just know that everything will be on the up and up as far as the scores. We got a lot of great backup scores down there that are making sure that everything is going to be kosher, so we'll have everybody in the right directions right now. Look at this, some battles going on out here.
I believe that was McGill, and I'm not sure who was beside him. Michael was mentioning, I thought McGill was in second when they came through the line, and Michael did too, but not positive, so don't want to say that too soon,
man,
I guess.
I'm just going on what I've been told, man. I don't have the best prescription of glasses, so I listen to my cues. There's Mr. Graham Whitcomb right there. Taking pictures. All right, so back at it, my friends, and again, apologizing for that. Just want to let you folks know that also, if you want to watch some highlights from this GNCC from a few weeks ago in Indiana, Peru, the X Factor, we do have that on NBC Sports today. That was a quickened and hastened broadcast that came up, actually moved up in schedule, so hopefully you got your things set up, and they'll be able to record them if you're not going to be home there to watch it yourself. Hey, folks, just want to remind you of the USA ISDE Golf Fundraiser. The USA ISDE Trophy teams are excited to present the 4th Annual Golf Tournament Team Fundraiser at Snowshoe Mountain Resorts at Ravenwood Golf Club on Friday, June 23rd. The unique golf tournament will assist in the monies that will help these riders make it to the international 6-day event. And for those of you folks that want to be involved in that, we certainly encourage you to do so. The golf tournament will begin with a shotgun start at 9 a.m. on Friday morning prior to the Snowshoe GNCC, and will run until approximately 3:30 in the afternoon. Participants will get to play 18 holes of golf on a championship caliber golf course ranked the #2 public golf course in the state of West Virginia by Golf Week magazine. Many of the USA Trophy riders will be participating in the event, which provides a unique opportunity to spend time with some of the most talented off-road racers in the world. Each team is made up of 4 players and space is limited, so get your team registered early by completing the online registration form. Individual participants are also welcome and will be assigned to a team at random. The cost is $100 per person, which includes a meal at the end of the round of golf, and all proceeds from the event will go directly to the USA ISDE team to help fund the transportation of our athletes to this prestigious event. If you have any questions about this event or would like to learn more on how to donate to the team, please contact events at KTM USA. And guess what? Last year we sent a team over, and last year we won for the first time in the 91-year history. We got the overall with Ryan Sipes the year before, individual. This year we got the overall with Taylor Robert and the overall with the team. So we cleaned house there last year. We're hoping to be able to do the same. So join us at Snowshoe. Again, if you want to know more events at ktmusa.com, you email them and they'll be more than happy to help you out there.
Well, Rodney, we just got a shot of our leaders, and it looked like Walker Fowler saw it in front, and that I'm going to say it was. I'm going to say that was Adam McGill in second, because I saw Landon WOLFE come up after him, the number 7 there. So I'm going to go that's top 3.
That makes sense. Certainly makes sense, and not want to take anything away from anyone else. But if you look at par for the course, which we normally see, that would make a little more sense. But at the same time, there are those moments, those days, those opportunities, those days when the switch flips and things begin to change, and we might have been able to recognize that. Now we're getting reports that Chris BORICH may have been in second, and then McGill in third place. And I will say this, when they came out of this one, I believe it was BORICH that actually got the hole shot. He got credit for the hole shot. He and Landon were literally right there, and Chris just shot, micro inches.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't the only one that saw it. Big John and Jeremy Holbert both saw it. We had 3 guys, two judges and myself watching that. BORICH barely got him. But WOLFE immediately went out to front, and that's good. That is good news. We talked about that a little while ago and what that means for him. So it's a confidence builder for him to get out in front, run early out there like that. So we're going to see a lot more of that in the future. But right now what we're seeing in the present, it seems to be some old school names like Walker Fowler and Adam McGill. And now we're throwing out there Chris BORICH. And with Chris BORICH, if he's in second place, all of a sudden this becomes a whole different race. And until we see what the gap is between first and second, whether or not Walker is able to stretch things out, we might be looking at the possibility of another one of those exciting race days and exciting finishes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And telling you what, with Walker out in front now, he's got himself in a position to take that number 1 spot back. But, hey, could have something like last week, something totally different.
Still working on timing and scoring right now. We are... and I apologize, got something in my throat right there. But 10-mile marker is what we're looking at here at the GNCC. And I don't know, did you happen to look around at the start today? The magnitude of people that was standing around. When I first went down there, there's a handful of people here and there. I didn't realize how many people had filed in behind me. And when I turned around and looked at the spectator section, I was literally blown away at the number of people that are here. We had big turnouts today, decent turnouts, really nice turnouts, I think, for the 8 a.m. to 10 o'clock, and here in this afternoon's race as well. But with all the people that were here, I got to wonder if that's an indication of what's going to be here tomorrow for the two-wheel side of things. When those guys hit the racetrack, that's going to be fun to watch. And if New York is consistent, we'll see. We'll probably be up in near record-breaking numbers. Maybe not, but we could be up in that range, maybe the 1900 range, because we're having a lot of participants in the ATV side of things. We still got we still got the micro ATVs to run a little while later. What's going on the screen right now, guys? You're trying to figure it out for yourself. I thought maybe you saw something where you perked up there.
Well,
I thought something happened. We got a battle going on.
We do, and I wasn't sure. Can't quite make out who it is. 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Maybe some XC2 battles.
Well, right now, folks, we do apologize again. We're just kind of watching, trying to figure it out for ourselves what's going on because of our scoring issues, our technical issues. But at the same time, we're getting a chance to enjoy watching great racing, regardless of whether or not we know how they are positioned on the racetrack. Look at these battles that we've seen, Michael. And I know you've been kind of up on the edge of your seat watching this monitor. There's been a lot of these 2x2 battles going through there, man. And a lot of guys are hooking up and battling today, it looks like.
There is. This is a lot of fun to watch, and it's just like our morning race. We battled from the start to the end, and sometimes, racing, we get spread out and we're by ourselves, and it's a lot more exciting whenever when you can hook up with somebody and battle with them, and we're seeing a lot of it right here, just like this morning.
For sure, for sure. So right now, here we are. We're working on about an hour in there, about 45 minutes into this race now, I think. And still waiting on official timing and scoring to pop up for us. But regardless of that, we still got a great battle and a great race going on. Walker Fowler continuing to lead in this one. And right now, looking at the all-time wins, Walker Fowler sitting on the all-time wins list right now at 31 wins. He's fourth in the all-time wins list for ATV records right now. So pretty exciting. Also, Walker coming off of 2 back-to-back wins here at Tomahawk. He won at the inaugural Tomahawk GNCC in 2015 over Adam McGill, Jared McClure. And then he also won in 2016 over Walker Fowler, Chris BORICH, and Adam McGill. Or was it 2016? I think it was 2016 last year that got 2015 on both of these. But I think that McClure got third the first year out. Last year was last year McClure got third, McGill got second, Fowler. Then it was 2015. And the 2016 was last year where Fowler, BORICH, and McGill went 1, 2, and 3. So Fowler, BORICH, McGill in 16, in 15, Fowler, McGill, McClure. So McGill, I guess what I'm trying to allude to and get to here is the fact that Adam McGill, as much as Walker is consistent here, so is Adam McGill. And we see this at a lot of different rounds, and I don't know how personal Adam McGill, but so far 6 rounds, working on 7 rounds into this race right now. He's probably got a pretty bad taste in his mouth that he hasn't been able to win at least one yet.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not liking it. I know he's not liking it. So he's going to push. He's going to get it, It's just a matter of time. But, yeah, I've known Adam for a long time. Great guy. Fun to be around. Man, he's fun to be around. We actually raced with him and put him on a utility a couple years ago at a 10-hour race, and we had a lot of fun hanging out with him at the weekend.
He's been doing a lot of utility riding around his house lately. I know Memorial Day weekend he had a good time. A little bit of ATV history. As we told you, Walker Fowler is the only ATV rider to win an overall at the Tomahawk GNCC. That's a pretty cool way to put it. He's won the first 2, or he is the only ATV rider to win an overall here. However you put it, that's pretty cool. And the only 3 XC2 class winners this year are all local to this race. Greg Covert only lives about 10 minutes away from here. Hunter Hart, 30 miles. And Devin Feehan, a little over an hour away. So each one of those guys have won this year in the XC2 Pro-Am. And each one of them are Winoa riders. I think that's pretty neat. And they all 3 helped at the school visit. Newfield Elementary, actually the alma mater of Hunter Hart, where he went to elementary school when he was just a young lad. And, you know, I was talking with some folks that were there, and they said that they were pretty impressed. Tyler Shepherdson, who hosts the school visits, asked the question, how many of you have ever heard or know what GNCC racing is? And from what I understand, there was a magnitude, a lot of numbers of hands that went up. And, of course, a lot of them knew what GNCC racing was and was, you know, probably large due in part, I'm sure, to Hunter Hart. But they know what GNCC racing was, a lot of them. Now, all of them know. And, of course, we had a chance to send out a couple of cameras to follow yesterday's visit. Special thanks also to Stevie Covert, who is Greg's brother, that was there as well in the school visit there yesterday. And, you know, the teachers have got to wonder, hey, wait a minute, Hunter, you was always missing school on Fridays for racing, and here it is race day Friday, and you're back at school. This doesn't make sense, man.
Sure. The school visits is a great thing. We've done a lot of them in the past, and that's pretty neat that he gets to go back to his school. And you know, my son's the same way. He's missing, you know, checking out at Thursdays at lunch and missing Fridays, and you know, that would be amazing for them to see that.
Yeah,
see why.
Yeah, to go back and that kind of thing. There's Emily Wise, the 419. She is a college 16 to 24-year-old class rider, and yes, I did say she. She has never really, I mean, she's raced some in the women's class and against the girls and stuff like that, but she has been more of a, she likes the competition of racing with the guys out there, and man, she's strong, and she's getting stronger, I believe, anyway, and her results are showing it, I think.
Yeah, and it's probably a lot of that has to do with racing with this crowd. These racers, it's not going to do nothing but give you experience and make you fast.
Well, Emily's getting fast, there's no doubt. I think it'd be neat to see her go to the WMX or the WXC class to see how well she'd do against those girls.
Yeah, we need to talk her into that.
But at the same time, she's having so much fun. It's not unlikely to see her grab a whole shot in front of all these guys out there. So pretty cool to see Emily still tracking along out there in the college 16 to 24, and going to college too, from what I understand, if I'm not mistaken. I know she was last year. I think she still is again this year as well. Right now, round 7, Dunlop Tires, Tomahawk, GNCC, Odessa, New York, Rodney Tomlin, along with Mikey Waynes, and, of course, Michael Swift. And we still have a solid state problem. But I think we do. Timing and scoring, by the way, is up. The folks are out now making sure that all the outpost scoring monitors are up and rolling the way that they should be. But we'll have official results or official results about the way they're looking whenever we get the thing up and moving here in just a few moments. But Mikey, I tell you, it has been kind of tough to pull this off, but at the same time, we got a lot of stuff that we can really talk about, including this morning's racing action.
Yeah, one of the big focal points for me this morning was Lane McCormick. No stranger to the center of the box, but home state win for him. He was pretty amped up about it. Alicia McCormick was giving high fives after his race, and I thought for a moment in the 10 a.m. race, Alicia McCormick may pull off the same thing. She didn't, but still a great story out of the WXC class this morning. That was Caitlin Osborne out of the home state of New York, taking a big win today. That was her first one of the season. And, of course, I'm going to give Michael Swift a shout-out, too, man, in the booth with us. And he finished third on the podium today out of the 4x4 Pro. So shout-out to Michael Swift. And happy anniversary, Michael Swift.
Thank you. Yeah. My wife's at her favorite place, you know. This is great.
Sure she is.
Well, you and me both. My wife and I are celebrating our 13th wedding anniversary Monday. Oh, almost got the date wrong. So Monday. So, yeah, our wives, maybe they can have therapy together or something.
That's wild, Michael. I woke up this morning and I was wondering, what is the significance of June 10th? What is the significance of June 10th? Now I know that it's your anniversary. My golly, see, I woke up with it on my mind this morning. Just didn't know what it was for sure. Hey, folks, we do have timing and scoring up in our monitors now, so we can give you a little bit more of a heads up. According to timing and scoring, that was Marty Christopherson running in the second place position whenever they came through the live scoring monitors there a little bit ago. Chris BORICH was third. Bryson Neal in fourth. Landon WOLFE had dropped back to fifth place, and Adam McGill was all the way back in sixth place, not second. But that's not to say that he didn't move up, because when you start taking a look at these gaps and the conditions the way they are, 4 seconds and 5 seconds, 11 seconds can be made up just like that out there. So we'll know more again here in just a few moments, because we had two sets of eyes that are peering there, thinking that maybe Adam McGill has moved up into a number 2 spot. But regardless, we continue to watch with bated breath to find out. Here's what we've got. Fowler, Christopherson, BORICH, Neal, WOLFE. That was your top 5. Then McGill in 6th. Jared McClure with 7th. Hunter Hart leading the XC2 Pro-Am. Newfield, New York. Hometown boy almost exactly a hometown boy. Running in 8th overall, leading the class. Josh Merritt running in 9th. Greg Covert, 2nd in the XC2 Pro-Am, was 10th. But get this, back in the 11th place position, something happened, man. Last time, Dustin Hendershot got an overall top amateur score from the Vet A30 Plus class, or 28 Plus class. And you know what? He liked it. He's back up there again today. He is 11th place overall right now from the Vet 28 Plus class. Vet A, and that was, what, row 5 or something crazy like that? I mean, it was several rows back. But there he is in 11th place overall. 12th overall is Brian WOLFE. Devin Feehan is XC2 Pro-Am 3rd place rider. He is 13th overall. Wesley Wolf is 14th. Cameron Bruce in 15th, who I think got the whole shot in the XC2 class. 16th, A.J. Kuntz. He got the whole shot in that Vet A30 28 Plus class that he and Hendershot are battling in, and he is only 10 seconds behind Dustin Hendershot in the overall. That's 7 positions that separate them. That's showing you how closely knit these guys are on lap times out there across the field. Brandon Eichert in 17th out of Hickory, North Carolina. Johnny Gallagher having some struggles today in an 18th place position, and I say that not because he took a win last time, because we're not normally seeing Johnny Gallagher this far back at any point so far in this 2017 championship season. So to see him back as far as 18th right now, kind of out of the ordinary. Don't be surprised to see him inching up closer to that top 10 here soon. Matthew Lindell, 303, who got on the podium a few weeks ago there in Indiana, is running 19th overall. Kenny Schick, another rider from kind of close to this area, out of Newcastle, PA anyway. I know he's spent some time up here in New York. Kenny Schick rounds out your top 20. But right now, our top amateur is Dustin Hendershot. He's the 11th overall from the Vet A 28 Plus class. And that, my friends, I think it's pretty exciting, because last time folks may have said, hey, it was muddy conditions, anything can happen. Dustin, you got lucky. Did he really? Well, here's the thing. That was inspiration.
That's right.
That was fuel for a fire, because anybody that doubted him, 11th place overall right now. There's Walker Fowler in the XC1 pits right now. 175 points in this championship battle right now, as we were talking about a little bit ago. That gives him a 51-point lead over second place in points right now. Adam McGill, who has 124, 31 career wins right now on the all-time list, right? Working on 32. That's pretty impressive. I mean, you know, you think about it, that's impressive. And then you think about the wins that Chris BORICH has got at 73. But still, Walker Fowler, in a time when you've got the competition that we've got right now, 31 wins, that's saying a whole lot.
It is. Where was Balance at?
Balance actually 67 wins is what he factored in there on the ATV. Barry Hawk had 49 ATV wins, and I forget how many. It was a total of like 68 or something like that was just a little bit more than Barry Hawk, or than Bill Balance, but Barry Hawk leading that leading, it was second in the all-time wins on both ATVs and motorcycles, but Chris BORICH leads them all just on ATVs alone, 73 wins. That's saying a whole lot, and that's even more than great Scott Summers, and even more than the great Caleb Russell, who's about to break Scott Summers' record on the two-wheel side of things.
Hey, and Chris BORICH is sitting in a really good spot right now, so.
There you go, and I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to jinx things, but now that you brought it up, Michael Swift, this is the best place in the world that Chris BORICH can be right now. These are familiar stomping grounds. He's very comfortable up here. He's got a great fan base here in New York. The race fans love him, and folks are really wanting to see Chris BORICH back in the center of that box. They want to see him get back in the winning way and take that win number 74 and make another historic stride in the GNCC history. But as Walker Fowler checks in down with 2 laps of racing complete, second lap 28:20, so we were a little longer, I believe, on lap number 1. We're looking at 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes for the riders in lap number 1. Now we're under the 30-minute mark. Whoa, look at this. Adam McGill is up to second. Good call on that. You saw that visually. 27:49. That was 31 seconds faster than Walker Fowler's lap time that last time around. He's pulled to within 8.9 seconds. You're doing the math right now. Adam McGill's got the speed to pass Walker Fowler and possibly take over the lead. But time is going to tell that. It's easier to catch someone than it is to actually make the pass on them. And, Michael, you know that as well as anyone, I believe.
Yeah, you know, we had to stop for fuel this morning, and it gapped all 3 of us. And, you know, you can gain back up and catch if you try, put your head down, but making a pass is a whole nother thing. So we've got somebody in the pits now.
Yeah, we got looking into the pits right now. Who are we looking at? Is this one of our XC1 riders that we're watching for there? I can't see the guy's face. I don't know. That's a close. That might be Eli Kiger, actually, our college class rider. If that's the case, tough break for him. He's a teammate to Bryson Neal. I don't think that's Bryson, though. Doesn't look like Bryson from this standpoint. Bryson actually running in the number 3 spot as he just checked in. 1 minute. 1 minute behind the rest of the field out there. Bryson Neal, man, that's a huge and monumental gap whenever you're talking about this XC1 Pro class right now. Jared McClure is running in 3rd. Landon Wolfe in 4th. Johnny Gallagher up from what was 18th place. I told you that he would be I didn't expect him to move and shake that much, but we'll have a few XC2s, maybe some Vet A guys to throw in there in a few moments. But Johnny Gallagher just turned a 28:37, and that lofts him all the way up into a 6th place position. He's 10 seconds behind Landon Wolfe for a top 5 ride right now. He is only another 4 seconds behind Jared McClure, so that puts him 6 seconds out of a top 3 or top 4. And another few seconds on top of that. So really, in theory, he's a minute and something behind the front two. But in theory, he is less than, what is it? I'm looking 20 seconds from 3rd place and a possible podium position. And coming back from way back in the pack to do it. Now, again, don't want to count any chickens before they hatch, but Johnny Gallagher looks like a man on a mission here today, up from 18th place now into 6th place. Marty Christopherson running 7th. Devin Feehan, your XC2 Pro-Am class leader, just checked in. He is 8th place overall. Wesley Wolfe, we expect to see, and there he is. He's 9th place overall, 8th in class. Josh Merritt, 10th overall, 9th in class. Chris BORICH, what happened to CB3 there? I mean, Chris BORICH, the 6th-time GNCC champion, is not with us right now, at least in timing and scoring. We're going to head on over to the pro pits to try to find out a little bit more about that and find out why or where or what's going on with our most winning rider in GNCC history.
Yeah, it just goes back to what we were saying earlier about the morning in those half a dozen spots. It's really going to mix this stuff up, and I think that's what we're seeing right now because we have a lot of changes here.
Right now we got Mikey heading on over right now to check out what's going on with Chris BORICH and why we aren't seeing him up here in the front part of the pack still, and why we haven't seen him check in for a 2nd lap complete yet.
I saw him go through the finish line right here, so I
Well,
think
then
there's
maybe
something going on.
there might be something wrong with his transponder then, and if that's the case, that's good news. So that will be a short interview and a short question and answer session there. Oh, what do you mean? He's fine. And I hope that's the case right now. As we wait for more riders to check in right now, we are seeing that Greg Covert has checked in second place in the XC2 Pro-Am. Cameron Bruce, the 427, now checking in 3rd place. Man, there's been a lot of changes over the course of the last two laps of racing. If you take a look at this, I mean, from the start, lap 1, there were a lot of changes, and from lap 1 to lap 2, there's been a lot of changes.
Yeah, it goes back to those half a dozen spots in the woods. I'd almost guarantee it. And that's what happened this morning in the 10 o'clock race.
So you get out there at some of those power points, some of those low-lying bogs and things. Is it that type of situation? What is it?
It is. It's the tighter section of the woods, and there's the water running out of the ground. And this morning there was 2 lines through there. And at the end of on the last lap, there was 12 different lines through there, and some of them will really make you have a bad lap, and some of them will really help you.
Well, right now some are doing a little both.
Yeah.
All right, so we just got the official word. Chris BORICH is in 3rd place. There is an issue with his transponder, so that is Bryson Neal in 4th, Jared McClure. So Johnny Gallagher ain't all the way up to 6th place. He's only up to 7th, but still, that's still saying a whole lot there. So apologize for that, but there's a transponder issue for Chris BORICH. I wasn't watching the monitor when they came through the screen or watching out here, but thanks, good eye on that, Michael Swift. But Chris BORICH is in 3rd. We'll get that reassessed on timing and scoring and let you know a little bit more about that. But regardless, it's good to know that nothing happened to Chris BORICH, because that's just one of the things that he don't need right now, man. It seems like every time he gets the ball rolling, something happens and kind of deflates him and flattens him out a little bit out there. But not so far today, anyway.
No, he's still sitting in a good spot. No, he's probably sitting right where he wants to be. He's comfortable.
Well, Mikey Waynes, there you go. We got the answer before you got over there, and thanks to Chelsea for following up on that for us. But, yeah, timing and scoring doesn't show Chris BORICH there, but he is in 3rd place. That does drop everybody else down a spot, but still, behind that, it's still saying a whole lot about the competition. And like Michael and I were just talking, Mikey, a lot of changes on these laps. This track is warranting that, and I have to tend to think that it's not over yet. We're only going to get to see it more changes. And, Michael, you can probably attest to this. It's going to change with each lap. Every time they come to one of these sections, it's going to be totally different than it was the lap before.
Yeah, I think we're going to see big changes every lap they come through. Walker may be able to hold on to that if he makes good decisions. But with Adam pulling the lap times he is, that may mix it up a little bit, put a little pressure on Walker and cause a little mix-up there, so that we might see a change of lead there.
Well, like you were talking earlier, for you guys this morning, it sounds like lappers were a pretty big issue. Do you look to see that being kind of the same case today as this one wears on? We're starting to get into the meat of this race.
Yeah, I don't know what the official number was on the 1 o'clock race as far as entries, but I think they said we had 300, and I sure believe that, because we had a lot of changes in placings in our class just due to lappers and the 6 different spots in the woods that got a little mixed up.
Yeah, we've had just under 200 riders check in on a lap. That's not to say there aren't more out there, obviously, but right there, I mean, already 200 so far this morning. I heard you guys alluding to it. I was running, checking some different stuff, but Johnny G, the man on the move, he was way back there in like 18th overall, and he is just right there in the thickest things. You heard Rodney kind of alluding to it, just a few seconds off the pace at 3rd place. So Johnny G looking to maybe make his 2nd podium appearance this season. Back in 6th right now doing some work. LW, Landon WOLFE back in 5th place, a number 7 machine. He led this one early on, and he's just kind of, I'm not going to say trailed off, but he's fallen back just a little bit. And Walker Fowler, the guy to beat right now out in front. The lead he's got right now over Adam McGill, the 521 Honda, is 8.938 seconds. So not a huge lead, especially when you're talking about a guy like Adam McGill back there. And Bryson Neal, a guy that had a very rough round 6, and kind of talked to him about him prior to the race today, getting out and having a good race here today and getting a little redemption, and he's putting himself in that position right now. So let's take a look at our XC2 classes real quick. We'll give you a rundown there out of the XC2 Pro-Am. Devin Feehan out in front. Greg Covert running second. Third place, Cameron Bruce. Brandon Icard is back in fourth, and Matthew Lindell is in fifth. Matthew, no stranger to the podium. So there's your top 5 out of the XC2 Pro-Am class. Hunter Hart back in sixth place. Hunter, I kind of expected to see him do a little better, and this one's still a little early on. Hunter Hart back in sixth place right now, and out of the home state, you kind of would expect to see Hunter Hart do better, and maybe he will as the race rolls on. But again, your overall, taking a look, Walker Fowler is out in front right now by 9 seconds. Adam McGill's running second place right now. Number 3 of Chris BORICH is in third. Who's it going to be as we get into the nitty-gritty of this one when we return to GNCC Live?
Are you looking for a dirt bike piston that can increase power and decrease blow-by? Then check out Wiseco's all-new Racer Elite piston line. Racer Elite has been used exclusively by the pros, including RCH, Yoshimura, Suzuki Factory Racing, and are now accessible to the public. Available for popular 250 and 450cc dirt bikes, the Racer Elite series is the first off-the-shelf asymmetrical power sports piston ever made. Its fully machined billet aluminum construction features an exclusive custom lap top ring. Step up with dyno-proven power gains with Wiseco's Racer Elite piston line.
You smell it, you feel it, you can taste it in the air. Speed, man. Full wide open. Blast. I didn't really like high school too much. Too booky, too take notes, learn this, and that's it. Yeah, WYATT, that full-size motorcycle. The feeling of taking them apart every day, putting them back together. You can't explain it. Everything I learned applies to now. Seeing your motorcycle that you put together right around the track at 180 miles an hour, oh, definitely rewarding. My name is Mike. My school's WYATT.
Get on the fast track to a career. Turn pro at WYATT.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. I'm Mikey Waynes along with Rodney Tomlin and Michael Swift here today at the Tomahawk, the Dunlop Tires Tomahawk, round number 7 of the AMSOIL GNCC Racing Series presented by Maxxis, an AMA National Championship. And who is out in front? Well, Walker Fowler out in front. Adam McGill maintaining that second spot. Seen quite a different not quite a few different lead changes. That's been pretty much Landon, Wolfe, and Walker, but quite a few different mix-ups here between Adam McGill, Chris BORICH, Bryson Neal, Sneaky Snake Jared McClure, and Landon Wolfe, and Johnny Gallagher on the move as well, and Marty Christopherson was out in second after a lap. So a whole lot of different names. No one's able to pull away so far. And Michael Swift, what are your thoughts so far today? What's it like being here in the booth with us?
This is great. It's a good experience and an honor. I'm having a blast. It's a good view to watch some great racing. And you know, like I said, when I saw Chris BORICH come around in third off the start, I knew he's going to have a good day, I think. But you know, something to keep in note, on the last lap, Adam McGill put down a faster lap time than Walker Fowler. So you know, it's going to be interesting to see when they come back around.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't noticed that. It's what, about right at 30 seconds? 30 seconds. Faster than the lap time of Walker Fowler. So you got to think that if that's the case, will we see Walker Fowler in second place next time around? Will McGill squeeze out in front of him? And if not, maybe they're running in here handlebar to handlebar at the finish line. That'd be an exciting one. And pep this thing up for sure.
Yeah, he's got the speed to catch him, so we'll see what happens.
See it happen, that's absolutely right. And I think there's nothing more Adam would like going into West Virginia, his home state, than coming off a big win here in New York. But he's got a lot of racing left to go if he's going to catch up to Walker, but certainly making the pace. Ooh, a little tricky right there. So I heard we were worried about Chris BORICH. Sounded like we thought he had some issues. I was heading to the pits to find out what was up, and then turns out he just had some transponder issues there. So that's good to hear. Was a little worried. But Chris BORICH, he's had some tough breaks, and I thought, man, I really hope this isn't another tough break for him. But he is out there rolling in third place right now, trying to work his way up there. And I believe Chris got the whole shot as well. So pretty good race so far today for Chris BORICH.
Yeah, we can't count out Bryson Neal either. He's right there. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does with Chris BORICH. So
as we get a look at the riders coming through the open section here and back into the woods, let's get you a quick rundown here to this point. Again, Walker Fowler, your leader, out in front. The lead there, 8.938 seconds. And Adam McGill on the move, making up a faster lap time the last time around by 30 seconds. Third place is Chris BORICH. Fourth place is the number 5 Machine of Bryson Neal. Fifth place is Sneaky Snake, Jared McClure. Sixth place is Landon Wolfe. Seventh place, Johnny G, Johnny Gallagher, coming off the big win at X Factor, looking to shake some things up here. Pretty good lap time for Johnny on the last one. Marty Christofferson back in 8th place. Devin Feehan is in 9th place. And first place out of the XC Pro XC2 class. 10th place is Wesley Wolfe. That rounds out your top 10 out of the overall. Taking a look at, we'll do XC1 Pro here. Again, pretty much the same. But you got Walker Fowler out in front, Adam McGill second, Chris BORICH third, fourth place Bryson Neal, Sneaky Snake Jared McClure in fifth, Landon Wolfe running sixth place right now, Johnny G, Johnny Gallagher in seventh, Marty Christofferson eighth, ninth place Wesley Wolfe, and Josh Merritt cracking into the top 10 out of the XC1 Pro class. Taking a look at the XC2 class now. If it loads, Devin Feehan out in front, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Devin Feehan did the school visit this week, and you hear Chelsea Taylor always says, man, it seems like when they do that school visit, they always tend to do well out there on the track the next day. So maybe there's some truth to that. Devin Feehan out in front. The lead right now for Devin, that's what's impressive to me. He's beaten Greg Covert right now by 41 seconds. So pretty healthy lead right now for the number 16 of Devin Feehan. Again, Craig Covert, second place. Third place, Cameron Bruce. Cameron Bruce had the whole shot and has fallen back into third place, but a whole lot of racing action left. Brandon Icard back in fourth, and Matthew Lindell is in fifth. Hunter Hart finds himself in his home state, almost hometown right here, Hunter Hart. He is back in sixth, so you know Hunter's going to want this one, so I don't think we've seen the last of him. Nice shot at the Cameron Abey Team Faith jersey, the number 888 right there of Cameron Abey and Team Faith. Team Faith, well, they'll have the service tonight at 7 o'clock for those out here at the track, and I believe that's the only service that Chuck Lemaster is going to be doing this weekend is tonight at 7. I think that's both for the bikes and the ATV guys tonight at 7, and then I believe youth activities at 6 tonight. And if I remember right, I think they're located right there behind Alco. I'm pretty positive of that. If not, they're back there somewhere, so just look around at 6 o'clock and you'll see them. There's always a big gathering.
Yeah, actually, it's located right there at the split of Pro Rows of the Bike Pro Row.
There we go.
Yeah, it's right beside AMSOIL. Will not be hard to find at all, so head on up there and find those folks there a little ways today. Well, Mikey, I heard you going over some of the classes there a few moments ago, and I would almost have to think, Chelsea, correct me if I'm wrong, but this might be a good time to take a look at our Mid-State Chevy Midway report here today, give you an idea how things are going on right now. And of course, as we said, pointed out just a moment ago there in the overall, it's Fowler, McGill, BORICH, Neal, McClure, your top 5. Sixth place is Landon Wolfe, Johnny Gallagher in seventh, Marty Christofferson, eighth, Devin Feehan. Your leader of the XC2 Pro-Am is 9th, 10th is Wesley Wolfe, Merritt in 11th, Greg Covert second in the XC2 Pro-Am is 12th overall. Cameron Bruce third in the XC2 Pro-Am. He's 13th overall. Cody Collier is 14th overall. Tucker Wyatt 15th overall. In 16th, XC2 Brandon Eichard, Matthew Lindell, and Hunter Hart. Hart having some struggles out there, it looks like. He's well over a minute behind the top 3 riders right now, and that's saying quite a bit for Hunter Hart, especially I think he was leading at the end of that first lap, if memory serves me correct. Also, Randy Hamilton back there in the 19th place position, and we talked to him just prior to the race today. The 341 of Brian Wolfe, the working man there out there in the XC1 Pro class. He's a railroad man by weekend, GNCC racer by weekend. Brian Wolfe rounds out your top 20 as we take a look at some things going on over in the pits, a little gas stops, and a little tinkering here and a little tinkering there as we take a look now at the XC2 class. We gave you the top 5 or so there, top 6 actually, with Feehan, Covert, Bruce, Eichard, and Lindell, your top 5. Hunter Hart is 6th in the class. 7th is Kenny Schick, the 31. 8th place is Levi Cohen, Bryson Hobson 9th, and Kenneth Kelly rounds out your top 10 XC2 Pro-Am riders. In the College A, 16 to 21-year-old class, John Glotta Jr., leading a minute and 5 seconds over Drew Landers out of Monterey, Tennessee, the 217. Who's second. Third is the 969 of Bodie Lamoureux out of Windsor, New York. Fourth place, the 319, Ben Kowaleski out of Great Bend, PA. Fifth place, the 72, Joey Lambright out of East Palestine, Ohio. Sixth place College A class is the 517, Mike McCain Jennings out of Algona, Iowa. Seventh place, 307, Matthew Reese out of Columbia Crossroads, South Carolina. Eighth place, the 857 of Eric Straub out of Tower City, Pennsylvania. Ninth place, the 817, Dusty Bell from Franklin, PA. And champion Pennsylvania is home to Joseph Yerksen, number 328, College A, 16 to 21-year-old 10th place ride. Junior A, 22 plus, top 10 now. 727, Zachary Dean is your leader down Addison, New York, from Falling Waters, West Virginia. Brody Livingood, the 831, 11 seconds back in third. Second. And then another 13 seconds back in third is Morrisville, New York's Tom Barrett. TJ Barrett aboard the 424. Then we've got the 41 of Matthew King from Southwick, Massachusetts. In fifth, it's the 25, Steve Covert from Ithaca, New York. Sixth place now, Junior A class, Michael McAvoy out of Chester, West Virginia on the 25. The 531 of Doug Howarth, 271 out of Cortland, New York is seventh. Eighth is the 416, Lucas Fuller from Niagara Falls. Aaron Gronsky out of Sellersville, PA is ninth. And the 601 of Alan Zawadatsky out of Elma, New York rounds out the top 10 Junior A class here in our Mid-State Chevy Midway Report. The Vet A class, A.J. Coots out front now. Dustin Hendershot in second. Those two were in the top honors for overall amateur today. Earlier on, Dustin was leading by 10 seconds over A.J. Coots. Now, A.J. is 15 seconds, almost 16 seconds ahead of Dustin, so that's going to make for some interesting things, I believe. We got Bruce Weiland Jr. in the number 3 spot out of Ranshaw, Pennsylvania. Todd Muscala, the Marble Man, the 86 out of Uniontown, PA, in fourth. Eric Vallejo out of Pennsylvania is that say Perkiominville? I thought it said Pokemonville there for a moment.
Go with it.
Then that's fifth place for Eric Vallejo. Sixth place, the 39 of Corey Blinkiewicz. He's out of Elwood City, PA. Brad Whitehead out of Reading, Pennsylvania, the 821 in seventh. Eighth, the 883, Joseph Bosack out of Penns Park, PA. Ninth place, 404, Ryan Purvis from Lowman, New York. And 10th place, James Kovich out of Wyoming, Pennsylvania. Or that's Wyoming, Pennsylvania. 152. There's a Wyoming missing, too, I believe. But I have a guy from the ATV motocross that's there from that one. Here we are, senior AB 38 plus class. Danny Thompson out of Elma, New York, leading all the way from Cuba. Wayne Edwards, the 403. That's in New York, though. Cuba, New York. I got funny looks on that one. We went through Cuba on the way up. Rocky Face, Georgia, home to Michael Hayes, the 458 in third. See, they got more than good cigars down there. They got good quad riders, too.
There you go.
Fourth place, the 254 of Steven Strock out of Springbrook, PA. Fifth place, the 413 of Adam Rivas out of Monticello, New York. Sixth place, 367, Ryan Tompkins out of Rochester. Then Chris Berry out of Munfordville, Kentucky, the 737 in seventh. Eighth place, 472, Jeff Packer out of Binghamton. Out of Brewston Mills, West Virginia, Steve Holmes, the 412 in ninth. And Kyle Lawrence, the 363 out of Clifton Springs, New York, rounds out the top 10 senior AB 38 plus class. We go to the college B class now, where Chandler Burler, after 2 laps, has a near 1 minute lead over Chase Petro out of Rachel, West Virginia, who runs second. He had 30 seconds over the 438 in third place right of Dustin Dean a lap ago. Fourth place, the 486, Jason Ropp out of Shamoka, PA. Fifth place, the 67, Donald Boylan out of Parker, PA. Sixth place, 356, Cade Vanderpool out of Indianola, Iowa. Then Cameron Abey, 888, is your 7th place ride out of Union, South Carolina. Rome, New York is home to David Ford, the 361. He runs 8th right now. 9th place of the 349 of Kelton Harbin out of Greenswood, South Carolina. And Binghamton, New York's Braxton Ray, the 457, rounds out your top 10. He's got a big old middle name there that I can't even pronounce, so we'll just go on with just Braxton Ray. Junior B class, John Sutton leading out of Newfield, New Jersey, 1 minute and 44 seconds over my buddy Reese Parvin. Little Reese Cup there. The 5, he's not so little, but a good guy out of Akron, Ohio. He had only a 2-second lead over David Kite, the 66 out of Northeast Maryland, who is another good friend of mine's son. And his uncle, Michael Kite, I don't know if you remember Michael Kite from several years ago, used to race, ran around with Andy Laxton and those guys. He's passed away due to illness a few years ago, but David's out here racing in his uncle's honor. His dad's out here. I think it's really cool. They're in third place right now to Northeast Maryland. 13 seconds behind him right now, William Wallace at 2:35 out of Street, Maryland. Fifth place, the 3:10 of Evan Temko out of St. Clairsville, Ohio. In the sixth place position, the 400 of Josh Costa from North Smithfield, Rhode Island. I believe he got the whole shot, crossed that stripe first, but I don't know that he got the early lead in the Junior B class. Charlie Rogers, seventh place aboard the 209 from Washington, PA. Justin Keller out of Newark, New York, 92 and 9th is Andrew Porter, the 614 out of Dryden. And out of Chepachet, Rhode Island, Ryan Bovis, the 840, rounds out the top 10 Junior B. In the Vet B, it is Zachary Phillips out of Parsons, West Virginia, leading Justin Kerr, the 386, by 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Wow. Then back in third place, the 80 of Jeremy Couchard out of Mansfield, Ohio. Another 13 seconds back and forth. Also from Mansfield, Ohio, is Aaron Hendershot, the 120. John Salsa from Warwick, Rhode Island, the 410 is fifth. My buddy David Napo from right here out of New York, we call him New York Dave, 698 out of Eden, New York, is sixth. Seventh place. Actually, I think that Dave won in Indiana a couple weeks ago in that mud. Timothy Streeter runs seventh place aboard the 443 from Waverly, New York. Jeff Bush, the 869 and 8th out of Homer, New York. Ninth place, the 75 of Alan Tuttle from Morrisville, North Carolina. And Adam Sadlon out of Oxford, New Jersey, rounds out your top 10 there in the Vet B class. And I believe that will do it, my friends. That'll wrap up your Mid-State Chevy Midway Report, and that's a look at the way things are looking here at the halfway point of today's race. I want to say thanks to Mid-State Chevrolet, the official truck provider of the GNCC Racing Nation, where they stack them deep and sell them cheap. Be sure and stop by and see them yourself off the Flatwood exits on I-79, right smack dab in the heart of West Virginia. And that is it for Mid-State Chevy's Midway Report. Folks, I tell you, kind of interesting, and also brings to point, where is our top amateur at now if we don't have them in 11th place anymore? Remember, it was Dustin Hendershot all the way up in 11th place position. Now we see our top amateur is still Vet A 28-plus class riders, but it's A.J. Kuntz, or Tom Kuntz Jr. on here, but we know him as A.J. out of Fayetteville, Pennsylvania. He's 21st overall, 15, almost 16 seconds back in the 22nd overall position, and second in the class is Dustin Hendershot. Now, let's start looking at this a little bit. This is where it's going to get interesting as far as that top amateur is concerned. John Glotta Jr., the 712 out of Waxhaw, North Carolina, the college age 16 to 21-year-old class leader, just turned a 31:32, which was a minute and 20 seconds faster than Dustin Hendershot on that lap time. Don't know what happened there. Elapsed time for these riders, 1 hour, 3 minutes and 51 seconds, 1 hour, 4 minutes and 14 seconds. So we're looking at a 15-second, 20-second difference right now between Glotta and Hendershot. So that means that all he has to do is make up 20 seconds to move into that overall top position. Actually, Kuntz there, too. So if we're looking there to be 35 seconds to Kuntz, but Glotta's not far out of it. And if he's turning a minute faster or plus faster than those two riders, in theory, we would think that John Glotta Jr. would be vying for top amateur honors when they check in next time around. But as we all know in the world of GNCC, you can never take anything at face value.
Yeah, that is absolutely for sure. And speaking to that, back at the top, Adam McGill with the faster lap time than Walker Fowler after the last one. If we do the math, that puts Adam McGill out in front after the next lap. But just like you say, this is GNCC racing. Yeah, we don't know that that's going to be the case for sure.
Is that the Gator chomping down on Walker Fowler right now?
That looks like they're mirroring each other.
Yeah, if that was them, and if it wasn't them, I'm sure that's a good indication of what they're looking like right now. Because McGill, I don't know, man. I mean, he was happy for Johnny Gallagher last time, but he was kind of bitter that he didn't get that win. And he's been a little bit bitter a couple times this year in search of those wins that have eluded him so closely and then just seemed to slip away. But Adam McGill's got himself right back there in position to be a possible winner and the next person to stop Walker Fowler and maybe even start the next win streak before it gets underway.
Yeah, he wouldn't be mad about that. And you know what? If it happened here, and that's how we head into West Virginia, you wouldn't find a happier person than Adam McGill going into that one.
I know, we're headed to the mountain that McGill built, if you know what we're talking about, a snowshoe. Adam McGill owns West Virginia for the most part, and rightfully so. He is a West Virginia born and raised, West Virginia native through and through.
by God. And I'll tell you right now, the fans love him down there, and for good reason, man. He is what West Virginia is all
Boy,
about.
and look at these guys are coming through the finish line now, Rodney. That was Walker, and that is not even a half second's difference between the two of them.
There is Adam McGill, and that was them, I guess, that we saw shadowing each other, headed toward the finish line there just a moment ago. The Gator is chomping right now, my friends. Can he get a bite of Walker Fowler? Is Walker going to be able to push it? I'm telling you, 0.8 of a second. And the lap time, 28:39, 28:31. Once again, Adam McGill is faster than Walker Fowler on that lap.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, and here comes Chris BORICH, and the boys in too. BORICH is in. He's 31, calling 32 seconds behind. His lap time, 28:10. He turned a 21 second faster than that of even Adam McGill. Mercy sakes alive, what's going on out there? These guys are finding wormholes or something, man. They're moving fast.
They are, and right when Chris BORICH came through the finish, he was trying to work around a lapper right there at the finish. So I got to think, as soon as he came out of the finish line, he passed that lapper, so might even be a little faster than that yet.
Well, white flag is out, 1 lap to go, and in theory right now, guys, I'm starting to get excited. In theory, we should have a 3-way battle coming down to the checker flag with Walker Fowler, Adam McGill, and Chris BORICH when this next race ends, or this next lap ends in about 28 minutes or so. What an amazing thing we've got going on. There's Bryson Neal checking in the number 4 position right now. I believe he is, what, 3rd place in points, if I'm not mistaken. 3rd place in points with 112 points right now. And that's not far out of the running if things start happening to Walker Fowler. But again, even if Walker takes seconds and thirds the rest of the year, nobody's going to be able to touch him in the point standings right now. It's going to take a bad day for Walker Fowler for anybody to, what is it, 51 points that we're looking at difference in those two riders. Is it 31 points? 31. No, it's 51. 51 points. So 51 points. He's got a few races to buffer there. I mean, he could miss one entire race and score kind of subpar a couple more races and still be in the points league.
You know what? He joked about it with us in South Carolina about, you know what, if I can get this thing wrapped up, soon enough, maybe I'll jump back on the bike, maybe do some racing on a Sunday. We may see that. That may very well happen.
You know, and all of a sudden, I get excited for the possibility that maybe Walker Fowler can end this season a little bit early as far as his 3rd championship goes. I do want to see it go down to the wire, but now I'm on the fence on that one because I want to see Walker Fowler back on 2 wheels at the same time.
Just like when he was a kid, right there.
Right now, again, we're watching here. Top 3 have checked in. Top 4 have checked in, I believe. 5, 6, we got Fowler, McGill, BORICH, then Neal, then McClure is checked in the number 5 spot. LANDON WOLFE is running in 6th. And that means, whoa, Josh Merritt just checked in now. Merritt around Johnny Gallagher now. There's only 2 seconds that separate those two. So Johnny Gallagher in an 8th place position, finding himself in some heated battles when it looked like he was going to be pushing toward a top 5. He might have really exerted a lot of energy there on lap number 2, trying to rest it up. Maybe this final lap we'll see another push by Johnny G.
I think you're right, and you know what? I don't know if it's just me sitting in the booth where there's no air circulating, but it feels like it's gotten a lot hotter in an hour and 30 minutes than, an hour and 30 minutes ago at the start of this, and I feel like the temperature's increased, and that might be playing a factor.
I think you're right, and like Michael said, out in those woods, it's kind of cooler with the shade and stuff, the breeze moving across you, but you are right also. It has gotten warmer, and the wind is basically come to an almost standstill. You're looking, you can barely see any dust that might be popping up. It's barely moving, so there is still a light breeze, but not enough to really, I think, cool these guys down, but there's not enough heat, I don't think, to worry about when you compare the fact that we've got a lot of tree cover. And if you were looking at the track map and seeing how much tree cover there was, you can see that these guys will have a lot of time to ride in the shade today. So with that, let's 3 laps down. We're through our top 10 now. Gallagher has checked in, but he's all dropped down to 9th place overall because Devin Fehan, after time adjustments, has checked in 7th place overall from the XC2 Pro-Am class. He elapsed time. He's about 30 seconds, 29 seconds ahead of Josh Merritt. on adjusted time, which puts him another 30 seconds or so ahead of Johnny Gallagher there. Or no, 2 seconds ahead of Johnny Gallagher. So Gallagher's got a little bit of time to make up on Devin Fehan if he wants to get that spot. Oh, look at this.
Wow.
Adam McGill's made the pass on Walker Fowler. We just caught that shot going through the woods right there. And we got a new leader, man. He has risen to the occasion. And Mikey and Michael, just as we anticipated with the lap times, if that was an indication and if Les Walker was able to step it up, this is what we expected to see.
Yeah, you know, if Adam can hold his lap times that he's been doing, he should do fine here if he can work his way through those few spots and work the lap traffic.
Lap traffic is going to be very key, and we are seeing a lot of that out here on the racetrack in the shots that we're seeing, and we're seeing it at the finish line here ourselves when riders are coming through. So as this race wears on, especially here on this lap, the final lap, it always seems like, does it seem like it gets deeper, the lap traffic in the last lap, or is it thicker maybe toward the middle of the race?
No, you know, I think it's the same all the way to the end.
It just basically just spreads out, and it's the same type of thing you got to worry about the whole way through.
I think in the middle of the race, you catch 5 or 6 in a line. Towards the end of the race, you catch a lot more singles.
Ah. Now, with that being said, it would seem that in that instance, it would be easier to get around 1 than 5, right?
It is, and it makes for less changes, you know, between the leaders because they can both get around.
But at the same time, once you start getting further up in the pack and you start lapping these guys, would you think that maybe some of they get a little more competitive because they don't want to go a lap down or something like that, so they're going to try to ride with you a little bit more? Do you ever find that very much? You personally don't?
No, not in the 10 a.m. race.
Well, you're on a big 4x4 too. Maybe you're just scaring the dickens out of them.
Those things do sound pretty mean coming through the woods, man. Those are some of the
trophy truck.
Man,
there you go.
They sound so incredibly fast. They are incredibly fast. How you guys are hanging on to them, I'll never know, man. But you guys have certainly dialed that in on many different levels. So right now, as lap 3's coming to a conclusion, we're seeing that Hunter Hart is, I thought he'd gotten them to 3rd place position in that XC2 Pro-Am. Let's go down to that class itself because we saw him back, 4th place, and he's still in 4th place. Still got some ground to make up, but taking a look at it right now, Devin Fehan, a 29:39 lap time. Greg Covert in 2nd. He's a minute 19 seconds back at a 30:17. Another minute and 28 seconds back is Cameron Bruce with a 31:34. And then you've got Hunter Hart with a minute and 10-second faster lap than Cameron Bruce at 30:24. So, in theory, Hunter Hart should be in 3rd right now. If I was doing the calculations, I'm no mathematician and no scientist, but just the law of averages tell me that Hunter Hart should be in that number 3 position if he's still keeping that pace and Cameron Bruce didn't pick his pace up. What will that mean as far as him being able to close in on Greg Covert for 2nd? If you look at lap times, Covert actually turned a little faster lap. So right now, unless something changes for Covert or even Fehan up front, they slow way down, the best that Hunter Hart's going to be able to do, I think, in theory, would be a 3rd place position. But right now, it's still theory because he hasn't, or we haven't seen him, that he's gotten around Cameron Bruce yet for that 3rd place position.
Not to mention, if Hunter Hart can make that happen, and we've got Devin Fehan, Greg Covert, and Hunter Hart in your top 3, that's going to be a New York home state sweep right there.
That will
for the
be.
XC2.
That'll be pretty cool for the folks in Wainoa for sure to be able to stake those claims out there. So Cameron Bruce out of Darlington, PA, who wouldn't surprise me to be an avid Wainoa racer also, is the guy that's keeping them all mixed up and jumbled up right now. Cameron, then followed by, as we said, Hunter Hart. Matt Lindell, he took a 3rd a few weeks ago in Peru. He's about a minute down behind Hunter Hart right now. Brandon Eichert is 6th, and still looking for Kenny Schick, Levi Cohen, Bryson Hobbs, and Kenneth Kelly there in the XC2 Pro-Am. Back to the XC1 for just a moment. Walker Fowler is due in about 19 minutes, but we'll say Adam McGill is due in maybe a little quicker than that because he was turning faster lap times. He's gotten around Walker Fowler, and we may be on our way to a 3rd different winner in 2017 in the XC2 Pro or XC1 Pro class. And you know, looking at the big picture of that one, Mikey, that seems kind of odd because generally we have it mixing up. Even though you got one or two riders that consistently are battling for the championship, there's generally more people taking wins like that than what we've seen this year. So to say that this could be the third winner of the season, that's saying quite a bit. And if you are that third winner, that's got to mean quite a bit to you too.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It was round 5, just a couple rounds ago. We were flirting with the idea that Walker Fowler might be able to push for an undefeated season, and that went out the window at X Factor, and now here we are. We may be seeing our third different winner of the season.
And we had a chance to catch up with Adam McGill and talk about that and some other things heading into this weekend.
Always, always. Any day we have that's sunny, or any day I can even get up to tie my damn shoes in the morning, it's a good day. So, yeah, we're looking for a really good track up here in New York. Definitely 180 from what it was a couple weeks ago in Indiana. But, you know, whether it's mud or it's dry, we still go racing, right? Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, Walker's been riding good all year, and we're coming up to the tracks that I seem to do well at. You know, snowshoe's one of them. This place we really don't excel greatly at, but we're definitely going to change around this year. And, you know, the season, for the most part, has been coming around. And, you know, he's definitely got a good points gap, but anything can happen. I mean, we've run a 27 point gap down last year to, I think it was 3, and then had an issue. But, you know, it is what it is. It's racing. If racing was easy, we'd just call it winning and everybody could do it, right? But, you know, everything seems to be going well. The CST tires, you know, are hooking up great. My Custom Act shock's working well. And Induction Solutions, nitrous systems pulling me good starts. My Rage engine, my Lone Star components. I mean, all these guys are coming together, and they're standing behind me, my Hyperpie weld wheels. And, I mean, it's just, I owe them a win, and it could be today.
Well, there you go. Adam McGill said something about things coming around. Well, things may be coming around a bend for him, and he may be up front, man, riding those, that big green horse, I guess it is. His gator, big green gator through the, that's what, you know, he calls his quad the gator, so it's Adam McGill and gator, I guess. But regardless, he's chomping through the track right now, and man, this would be pretty monumental. Be good for Adam. Be good for GNCC, and really, believe it or not, I think it'd be good for Walker because it's going to inspire him to really come out and try to be even more, well, stronger than he has been so far this season. And I'm not saying that he's not strong today. There's a lot of variables that warrant either a fast a race that's stretched out, I should say, or a race that's tight together. And so far, so good. Walker has fared very well in all the conditions and all those types of different races. He has found himself in this same situation in second place heading into the last lap. But the thing we got to realize is that Walker is not that far really behind Adam McGill right now. So there's still ground to be made up. And we know that Walker, if anybody's capable of making up time, it is Walker. I mean, he's the one we're usually saying, my gosh, look at the time he's made up. Today it is Adam McGill we're talking about. Maybe by the end of this lap, we'll be back to tooting Walker Fowler's horn again.
That's very possible, but I got to believe that this is going to be Adam McGill. I think he is been waiting on this for a long time. I heard this morning, I believe it was him, he was talking about, you know, when you get that feeling like you just had your best ride, he goes, I feel like I just had that.
That practice, yeah. And that's,
yeah, right.
He was talking about that. He was talking with some of the guys about that. You're absolutely right. Thanks for bringing that up. And what he said was, he says, you know, and this is the way he said it. He goes, you know, I was talking to my buddies, and he goes, you know, I told him, I said, you know how that one day, whenever you have that, just that perfect practice ride, and it's like the best ride that you've ever had, best practice run you've ever had, and there's like, yeah. He said, I just had that. I just had that. And with that, that's pretty good momentum, I think, emotionally and mindset-wise heading into this one. So, and especially with it obvious that Walker Fowler can be beaten. Walker Fowler isn't going to have a perfect season. Those kind of things loom in the back of other riders' heads at times too, I think, and they kind of beat themselves up thinking, oh, I want to be the one that breaks this streak. Now he doesn't have to worry about breaking a streak. He just has to worry about going out and doing what he likes to do, and that's just win races. Not worry about breaking streaks, worry about this, worry about that. He just wants to go win, and that's what he's trying to do right now.
Yeah, it's exactly right. And I'm telling you, right now, if Adam can hang on and get this win here today, you are going to see a focus out of Walker Fowler in West Virginia that I don't know if we've seen all season. I think that's going to be a look of determination and focus going into that one. Mount McGillville, that's right, when we head to Mount McGillville, for sure.
It's not Snowshoe Mountain, it's Mount McGillville. I think we need to put a big sign up down there at the bottom of the mountain that says Mount McGillville. Wow, look at that.
Oh, must be nice.
Brad Jones, our NBC Sports producer. You can see how hard he's working, can't you?
He, and the camera's not deceiving you, he is that gigantic.
Big old lad, no doubt, man. His hand, he can palm a basketball.
Yeah.
That dude is huge.
I think Division I offensive lineman.
Yep.
For Penn State. So.
Yep. Yeah, that's Rita's golf cart. It looks like a little go-kart under him, though, right now. I think he and Big John are the two biggest people I know in the GNCC world, to be honest with you.
Not a couple of guys I'd like to tangle with, that's for sure.
Wow, there goes, listen to the crowd. Well, watch the crowd right there. That rider right there, is that smoke or is that dust coming up out of that machine?
Yeah, I think it's dust.
It might be dust.
Yeah.
I thought he was smoking there for a minute, but obviously it is dust. But right now, man, I mean, look at it big picture. We're less than 13 minutes out. Where are our leaders, Chelsea? When will we be seeing them again? We should be coming up on, what, the 7-mile marker? 8-mile marker. And that should be coming up here, I would assume, soon. So we're talking about looking for the 8-mile marker for these cats right now. And will it be Adam McGill? Will it be Walker Fowler? Will Chris BORICH somehow or another have made up that 31, 32-second gap and put himself into position to take over the lead and to win the first in 2 seasons that he's been able to do so? If he does, mercy me, what a heartbreaker there. It's been working on 3 seasons now, I guess, since Chris BORICH last won a race, huh?
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't have it.
Walker
yeah.
has 2 championship seasons. He didn't win any that first year. Walker's championship season, his first championship, didn't win any last year. Hasn't won any yet. And it's hard, and I'm not meaning this, but it's hard to think that the rider that is top of the most wins list with 73 wins has not won in nearly 3 years of racing. Can today be the day? Looking at timing and scoring, his lap times and the fever pitch at which he was riding at, I would have to venture to say yes. Is it possible here today? Yes. Is it likely? It's as likely today as it ever has been, and maybe more so, in my opinion, after watching Chris. And I say this because I know that he's got an air of confidence here, because these are some familiar stomping grounds to him. Chris BORICH has been late racing. It's something he hadn't been doing a lot in the past, racing a lot of local races. He used to come up here a lot years ago, and we're seeing that he's been coming up here, different places, a lot here recently. So Chris is getting back to the fun. He's a different person. He's back to having fun. It's not so much business anymore. It's back to more the fun concept of it, and it looks like Chris might be having fun here in Western New York today. And whether or not he's going to make that 32-second gap up, that question remains to be answered. But if he does, if he even gets close, if he even gets within sight of these guys, I think that's going to mean a whole different race when we roll into Snowshoe Mountain, even for Adam McGill and then being McGillville up there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be exciting for sure. And we've got an exciting finish for this one. It's a dogfight right now between Walker Fowler and Adam McGill coming down to the wire in this one.
We should be seeing these riders at or near the 8-mile marker here in just a few moments as we prepare ourselves for the podium presentations here shortly. Make sure, folks, if you're following along or you're tweeting or doing anything on social media, to please use the hashtag GNCC Live. Keep those all grouped together, and we'll know how everybody's feeling and talking about the Dunlop Tomahawk GNCC. So Instagram, if you want to follow GNCC Racing, it's at GNCC_racing. Facebook is simply the / with the GNCC Racing. And Twitter, of course, is simply at GNCC Racing. And I believe that if you want to follow us on Snapchat, you can do that as well. And
GNCC Live.
GNCC Live on Snapchat. There we go. Yes. So follow along. Keep up to date with all the great, cool things that are going on in the racing world and the GNCC Racing Nation, and help spread the word at the same time. So watching and waiting here near the 8-mile marker. You know, a couple of history lessons for this season. If you didn't know and have been following, Walker dominating the first 5 rounds up until the last race, was the only race so far this season he hasn't won, and he was the only race winner in 2017. Now it's Johnny Gallagher. Will there be a third one? Will it be Adam McGill? Will it, or could it be even Chris BORICH at this point? Also, just want to give you a heads up, Adam's confidence, we've seen this in his interview a few moments ago, slowly starting to rebound. His confidence normally plays a big role in his results as he does grow more comfortable, and we don't think it's going to be long before we'll see him take that win. And those are notes that we made heading into this weekend, and rightfully so, because the writing has basically been on the wall for Adam. You know, I could tell the frustration in his face, in his voice when we talked with him at X Factor. He was very excited for Johnny Gallagher to be able to take that win, and that meant a lot to him, I think, as it did to a lot of the XC1 pros over there. But at the same time, you could tell that he was thinking, I may have given this one away earlier myself, and maybe he's not wanting to be in that same position here today. And to do it coming from behind like he is right now is pretty impressive too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know what? You ask any one of those pro guys, none of them are here to lose. And no matter what the situation, they're all here because they want to win. So yeah, you're obviously happy for a guy like Johnny G, but at the end of the day, these guys are professional competitors, and they're here to compete for a win, for sure.
And like Johnny Gallagher said this morning, he said, well, heck, man, I said, are you going to come out here and try to win another one today? He goes, I didn't come here to lose.
Right, yeah.
And I think that's the mindset that you got to have to be a winner. And now that Johnny's got that first taste of winning, then I'm sure he's going to go into a lot of races not to lose in the future, knowing that he's capable of winning. And Adam McGill didn't come here, Adam McGill didn't come here to lose either. He came here to win. Bryson Neal didn't come here to lose, but Bryson might find himself in a fourth place position, but still not bad for this young lad, as he is in amongst the probably some of the most famous company in GNCC history. I mean, when you look at it, think about it. Walker Fowler, Adam McGill, Chris BORICH. There are three names when you think GNCC in historic proportions. Those are the three of the names that pop up. And honestly, to be right there with them in that fourth place position, that means that you are soon to be one of the greats yourself. And he is. He actually is one of the greats. And I think he'll establish himself as that more and more as this season and the next coming seasons wear on.
Yeah, I mean, what does it say about, the competition when you've got the all-time winningest rider at a Chris BORICH, and he's not won one in 2 seasons? So what does that say about the level of competition just the last few years? So yeah, just to be in the mix of things like Bryson Neal is, and even, Jared McClure as well, and then look into the future, Landon WOLFE. There's so many names you can throw out there in this pro ATV class that in the future's bright. I mean, XC2, you've got Hunter Hart, Devin Feehan. I mean, the list just goes on and on of what is to come in the coming years for GNCC racing.
Well, just for another history lesson for you, we talked about this earlier. I'm not sure if I did it during the RacerTV broadcast, but Walker Fowler is the only ATV rider to win an overall here at Tomahawk. So with this being the third running of this Tomahawk GNCC, I guess you could say he's kind of got a win streak going on, if nothing else, right here at Tomahawk. Can he make it 3 in a row at the Tomahawk GNCC and get back into the winning way? We are 5 minutes away. 5 minutes away from checker flag and knowing when we expect those guys to check in. I think they might be a little sooner than that, because I think that Adam McGill has pushed the pace and picked it up. I think that with Chris BORICH coming down as hard as he is coming, they picked up the pace knowing that he is coming as well. So I think we're going to have a fairly interesting and exciting finish in this one, or at least the pace quickening up. So I expect to see them in here a lot less than 5 minutes. We're approaching the 4-minute mark now for that. But he is the only rider to win the Tomahawk here at Tomahawk. So maybe Adam McGill or Chris BORICH or someone can break that win streak here. And again, slow his roll as far as trying to win out the rest of the season so he can break the consecutive wins record here in ATV racing, which I think is, what, 6 wins, if I'm not mistaken?
I believe you're right, because I want to say at round 6, we were talking about him tying that.
Yeah, so, and then that would be with Bill Balance and with Chris BORICH, both of those guys getting 6 straight wins. Walker wants 7. And if you do the math, we have 7 races left this season. And in his mind, coming into this round, this was the first of 7 straight wins in a row is what he was hoping for.
Yeah, and wow, hats off to a guy I almost hear anybody else say that, and you're like, oh, okay. But to hear a guy like Walker Fowler, it's certainly attainable. I mean, you look back to round 5, we started flirting with the idea a little bit about not just 7, but a whole season. That didn't happen, but yeah, 7's not out of the question. If not this season, who knows? Next season, season after, he's got a lot of racing left in him.
He does, but he also has a lot of competition
Yes.
coming. I mean, out of the way of these XC2 boys that we've been talking about there, including Fehan and Hunter Hart, of course, and Greg Covert. That's the rider that I was trying to think of, Greg Covert.
I was staring right at it.
Yeah, and I was thinking for some reason his brother's name, we mentioned his brother a little bit ago, so Steve's name popped into my head, and I'm going, it's not Steve, it's not Steve, it's not Steve. But even Steve's another one we want to catch and keep an eye on, because he could be another one of those up-and-comers through the ranks as well. I love it when you get a couple brothers out there on the track at the same time.
Fun.
We see that in the two-wheel side of things with the Baylor boys, and there's a few of the ATV amateur ranks that we get to see it in as well. But yeah, that would be really, really neat. All right, so less than 4 minutes.
Stephen Covert won 6 of the races this season. 4 of the 6.
I was just, yeah, that's saying a lot for that. Was it 25-plus class? I believe is what he is. 22-plus class. So that's saying quite a bit there for that rider, for Steve Covert, and good to see that he's had such a successful season. And it'd be interesting to see if those two would eventually. I know that Steve's doing the age stuff with the junior A class, but the competition is stiff in that class as it is XC2 sometimes, and maybe even the building classes. So to see Steve maybe move in and some of those XC1 or XC2 classes would be pretty cool in the future too. But right now we are actually less than 3 minutes away. Where our leaders? Is it gonna be Walker Fowler back out front? Is it gonna be Adam McGill? Is it gonna be Chris BORICH? We wait with bated breath. The Yamaha boys are clapping, and Walker Fowler making his way through the pro pits right now down BP Fuels Pro Row. The crowd with a fist in the air. That's a pretty good indication that that rider may have the lead at this point as we wait again for this second place position to roll in. And look at this. Looks like Walker Fowler is all by himself. McGill back in the number 2 spot. Walker Fowler on his way home to race win number 32 right here in Odessa, New York. His 3rd consecutive win at the Dunlop Tomahawk GNCC. So he's still got at least one streak alive, and he's starting possibly another one here today if he could hang on to this one down to the wire. Adam McGill had moved into the lead briefly here on this lap, getting around Walker Fowler, but now Fowler is back out front. There is a bit of a gap that has separated he and the number 521, and we wait on Chris BORICH, whom we believe is still in that 3rd place position, had nearly a minute lead over Bryson Neal, and was hot on the throttle and trying to capture some of that distance between himself and 1st and 2nd place as Walker Fowler is rolling to win number 32. Watch him go, folks. You can see he's eating a lot of mud. The number 1 sign up to the race fans out there, letting those guys know, yes, we are number 1. We are the champion, and we are about to win the Tomahawk GNCC. Fowler has not let up off his throttle any coming into this chicanes right now. And here it is, final turns, and Walker Fowler is set to take the checkers, and he does as he takes win number 32 and the Tomahawk GNCC here in New York. That's win number 6 in 2017 for this rider, as he is hoping to get 7 of these in a row to break the all-time win streak record that's held by Chris BORICH and Bill Balance right now. But more importantly, Walker is the winner here today. That is going to put across the line in 2nd place. And how many seconds? 5.4 seconds to Adam McGill. And now we wait for that 3rd place ride to check in. Can't wait to find out the story on this battle that just unfolded. As we are down in the Moose cool-down zone right now. You see our winners making their way in there. Thanks to Moose Racing for providing this area for all of our riders to check in. We'll have bottled water to cool these guys off with, and cold towels if they need them. But fortunately today we're only looking at temperatures right around 80 or in the low 80s. So It's bright enough to get sunburn. And my daughter got one. I believe my boy got one also. I may have gotten a little one on the back of my legs, deceiving with the way the wind was blowing out here earlier today and cooler temperatures. But here we go, waiting on third place. Is this our third place riders checking in right now? And wow, something big happened there. So BORICH may have had problems on that final. Nope, there he is. That 31-second gap has opened up quite a bit more, but I would almost have to say it came from the pushing. But Chris BORICH does it, my friends, as he rolls into the finish line in third place. 1 minute and 27 seconds down. He lost an entire minute on that last lap of racing. Michael Swift was here a little bit ago. He was talking about he wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of that taking place today because of what he saw in the 10 o'clock race. It would warrant that, I would believe, with the course conditions. He said everywhere that the track got bad, the track got tight, and if a rider went in and got stuck and folks got around him, that would warrant a lot of lead changes. We've seen a couple of lead changes today. Whether or not it was due largely in part to that remains to be answered, but I think a lot of this time that we've seen made up, a lot of the time that we've seen lost by some of these riders out here, I think a large part is due just to exactly that, what Michael was talking about earlier today. But right now, we have the top three in: FOWLER, McGill, BORICH. Now Jared McClure has checked in the number 4 position. He was 22 seconds away as the Snake was trying to reel him in at 29.04. He actually turned about a 40-second faster lap than Chris BORICH, another lap, and this could have gotten real interesting. By the way, elapsed time 1 hour, 55 minutes, 45 seconds, basically, just under 45, 44.939. So an hour, 55 minutes, and 45 seconds. About as close to 2 hours as we're going to be able to get on a day like today and not go over. You can see the race clock on RacerTV just now clicking up to the 2-hour mark, but it was 1 hour, 55 minutes, 45 seconds basically when Walker Fowler checked in a little bit ago. So we got Fowler, McGill, BORICH, 1, 2, and 3. McClure is in 4th place. What happened to Bryson Neal? Neal, who was a minute behind Chris BORICH, hasn't even checked in yet and has dropped at least 1 position. So, again, anything can happen. And like I said, those last laps bring out a lot of craziness out there, and we're bearing witness to that right now, I believe, as we are watching these riders finish up out here. Bryson Neal, the Bidwell Bullet. Want to go reload and try her again in West Virginia here in just a couple weeks when we head to McGill Mountain, or McGillville, or the mountain that McGill built, or Snowshoe for the next GNCC. Bryson Neal on the way right there, as we said, to that 5th place position finish. Nothing to sneeze at there. He's amongst some fine company. Actually, Landon WOLFE took the 5th place position. Sorry about that. He was 2:04, so Bryson Neal a little bit further behind that. So big changes there on that lap. Landon WOLFE, how about it for LW? Is not his best race in his career. He got a podium last year at Ironman, if memory serves me correct, but he's at least matching his best finish so far this year, or maybe even bettering it. But 5th place, way to go, LW, bud. Josh Merritt, good ride for that rider. We've been seeing some constant advancements by this rider as well, and I think Josh Merritt might be one that we want to start keeping an eye on in the future. Don't want to put too much pressure on him. Somebody plug his ears up, but Josh has been showing some pretty good glimpses lately of someone that is ready and on the edge there to push forward and make some huge steps and strides, I should say, in the right direction. So Josh Merritt will finish up in 6th. Bryson Neal, I guess, came across there a few moments ago, but we got Josh Merritt 7th. No, Devin Feehan pushes Josh Merritt to 7th overall as Feehan takes the win in the XC2 Pro-Am class and will finish in a 6th place overall position.
Are you leaving that now? All right, I'll be ball.
6th place overall position. 7th place is Josh Merritt again. Johnny Gallagher, who is 7th in class, 8th overall, checking in out of Aurora, Ohio, our last race winner on the number 13 machine. Handshakes going out there by Walker Fowler to many folks. We see our good buddy there from Muddy Microphone Podcast, first GNCC ever. Have had a chance to be on the Muddy Microphone podcast a couple different times, and finally had a chance to meet that gentleman today. And his first GNCC ever. Says, I got to get out to more of these. Well, yeah, you do. A little bench racing going on down here at the finish line as we wrap it up, overlooking the Watkins Glen Motor Speedway, and of course, Odessa, New York, a very beautiful area, as well as Watkins Glen itself. Just a great place. They got festivals going on, an art festival also going on. There's plenty of waterfalls, a great place to bring your family on a vacation. Niagara Falls only a few hours from where we sit right now, so I tell you, folks, if you've come to New York or ever plan on coming to New York, don't let it be said there's nothing to do, because there are lots of things to do, even besides go riding. And riding is one of the big things that we can do here in the GNCC. There is Bryson Neal. Now, we had Bryson Neal's picture on the monitor, but that was LW that came in 5th place. There is Bryson Neal. Now, this right here goes to show you the heart of a racer. Bryson Neal has no right rear wheel. He is completely off the left side, trying to keep that thing up on 3 wheels and keeping it moving forward, trying to make turns out there. He's having to turn complete circles just to make a turn. He's got some assistance coming in now with some riders, but he is still riding it. It's under his power. They're trying to help him keep that wheel from digging in out there. What a heartbreaker, man. What a heartbreaker if you are a Bryson Neal fan. Wesley WOLFE is checked in at 9th. Marty Christopherson now in 10th place. Greg Covert, 2nd place in the XC2 Pro-Am, is checked in with us now. We got part of the podium there. We are still waiting on Bryson just to see where he finishes. That right there shows you the true heart and determination. This is not a 3-wheel race. You're right, Derek. That is 3 wheels, but this is not a 3-wheel race. But he may finish on 3 wheels. Folks, if you could get down here to the finish line, I want you down here. I want you down here to congratulate Bryson Neal. Look at that. Even fellow riders are cheering him on as he's making his way to the finish line out here. This is heart and determination by this Coastal Drilling Racing rider out here. This shows you that he wants every point that he can stand to gain here so he can have the best overall finishes. And look at this, other riders trying to come to his assistance, it looks like. And anyway, they're trying anything they can to get him here a little bit quicker. But man, this right here is what the true grit, the heart and soul of GNCC racing being displayed is like. When you have circumstances and situations like this where you have to push them, where you have to ride them in their limp mode. Here we go. See, he has to turn all the way around to make a left-hand turn. So he is following the track. See if he can make that. Look at that. He is making it happen out there, hanging off the side of that quad. Man, get your cameras out. Get out there and congratulate Bryson Neal. Look at the big, wide turns he's got to take just to make the turns. Congratulations again to Walker Fowler, Adam McGill, and Chris BORICH. Podium and top 3 overall there. But how about it for the Bidwell Bullet? The heart, the determination. This is what GNCC racing is all about. Any and everything you got to do just to get to the finish line. We've seen Walker Fowler push his quad before. We've seen Adam McGill push his quad, and we see this guy limp his quad to the finish line. How about it for Bryson Neal as he makes these final few turns? Look, he's got to turn all the way around. Nope. He's going to try to make it. Where will that put him in the overall whenever it's all said and done, though, folks? He still might be good enough for a top 20. He got some help getting it straightened up. He's taking it to the finish line, guys. He's got plenty, and he's like, get off of it, guys. This is all me. I'm riding it. I'm riding it. I'm riding it. And there goes Bryson Neal to the finish line. Well, is he ever going to make it? He's there. He can see it. He's almost there. Oh, man, and listen to that crowd go wild for Bryson Neal as he takes the checkers and is able to salvage out of this a 17th place overall. 17th place overall. That scores points, my friends, and that means something whenever it comes to figuring these championship positions out at the end of the championship season. But what about it? True heart, grit, determination, mud, guts, and glory. That's what GNCC is all about. And look at that, man. Look at the race fans helping them out. I love it, man. This is why I keep coming back week after week, seeing the heart and the desire that these people exert out here on the racetrack. Talk about leaving it all on the racetrack. A perfect example of leaving everything you have on the racetrack right there by Bryson Neal here today. Hashtag GNCC Live right there, my friends. And I tell you, we've had some amazing things that happen here in GNCC, but it's always those things like that that really excite me and really make me want to come back that much more. So the way it stands, again, we're going to break them down. And there we got still our top amateur rider that we're waiting on to check in. We'll get that rider in just a few moments. We're thinking it's going to be a Vet A rider, but remember, pushing very quickly in the College A class was John Glotta. He was turning about 30 seconds, 45-second faster lap. There's Chris BORICH. If you're watching on RacerTV.com, big smile by him, and rightfully so, man. I mean, that guy right there was probably one of the fastest guys on the racetrack today at certain times, and lap times prove it. Seeing things like that's going to be another confidence booster for him. And, of course, pointing out the XC2 Pro Am class once again for you guys. Wow, and Hart does do it. Devin Feehan takes the win. Greg Cover in second. Hunter Hart takes third. And just for you guys, when we come to your communities in the future, if Chelsea Taylor calls you up and says, hey, you want to go to a school visit? Look what it does for these guys. And we see it happen quite a bit when they go to the school visits. They get on the podium or even take wins. Well, Feehan, Covert, and Hart were all at the school visit yesterday. They all are on the podium today, and Chelsea Taylor says that's why. Chelsea is our producer, and she does a great job. And Chelsea also helps coordinate things like that, goes out and helps out. She does a whole lot, plus writes all the press releases. So a lady of many talents, there's no doubt about it. But Cameron Bruce will finish fourth in the XC2 Pro-Am class. Matt Lindell will take fifth. Brandon Eichert in sixth. We'll look to see Kenny Schick in seventh, Levi Cohen eighth, Sam Huff in ninth, and Kenny Kelly to round out the top 10. And there you take a look at the Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com overall results board there. And still waiting to see in that top amateur overall. There'll be a top 20, but how about it for the Richford Rocket? Marty Christopherson, Walker Fowler here right in front of the TV booth as he makes his way down to the podium, getting ready to celebrate win number 6 of the 2017 season and his third straight win here at the Tomahawk GNCC. Stick around with us if you will. Enjoy the celebrations and find out exactly how everything breaks down when GNCC Live continues after this.
Get the most protection for your vehicles and toys and the most bang for your buck with the AMSOIL Preferred Customer Program. Join today and receive up to 25% savings on AMSOIL products, exclusive product and shipping promotions, free AMSOIL gear, points on all purchases, referral rewards. Register today and take advantage of all the benefits offered by the AMSOIL Preferred Customer Program. Visit amsoil.com/PC.
Here at Rocky Mountain ATVMC, we go beyond selling parts, apparel, and accessories. We take pride in supporting the sport. We're proud to sponsor GNCC Racing and the KR4 team. It's just one more way to show our dedication for the fans and riders of this great sport. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
And welcome back to GNCC Live as Walker Fowler has taken win number 6 of 2017 and has taken his third win here at the Dunlop Tomahawk GNCC, the only ATV rider to win here in the afternoon 1 o'clock race so far in Tomahawk history, even though it's only 3 rounds of racing, that's for sure. AMSOIL GNCC Racing is brought to you in part by our good friends at AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, and also by our good friends at Maxxis Tires, where you can find maximum potential, and by RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready. Glad to have all you folks and those folks on board with us as we roll through the 2017 championship season. Again, another beautiful look from high atop the Seneca Highlands here as we head down to the podium where Chris BORICH is celebrating his $250 Wiseco Hole Shot Award there. And, of course, waiting for other contestants to make their way up to the podium. Adam McGill is busy talking with the race fans out there, it looks like. And we'll see Walker Fowler. I believe he may be bent over talking to some folks. You guys ready down there yet, Mikey?
Yes, Rodney, we are ready. So
Thank you.
sorry about that. We're just up here powwowing. The guys are getting their swag together. So, New York, get ready, as you're going to have some swag here in just a moment. I tell you what, as Walker, are you good? Are you good, man? Yeah, it is what it is. I tell you what, Odessa, New York, give it up here for the top 3 pro riders here this afternoon. All right, so we're going to get things started. First and foremost, Chris BORICH, man, you got the Wiseco hole shot. You're going home $250 richer. And he comes up here and goes, oh, my, I got it? Yeah, man, you got it. You and Landon Wolfe were duking that out.
Yeah, I knew he had a pretty good jump there on the outside, and I snuck it to the inside. And I was pushed out wide, and I was like, I don't know who's going to get it there. And, yeah, I guess I got it.
You got it. It's all yours, $250, man. Well, talk to us about this race. We were a little nervous. We didn't see it on the radar, and it turned out it was just a scoring thing, which we got that fixed, no biggie. But, you know, third place finish. How do you feel about that out here this weekend?
Not too bad. We've been just doing a bunch of testing, trying to figure it out. And I think we came onto something, but we just came up short today. We hit a bunch of lappers. I ended up hooking up with McGill there, and we were rolling. And then a couple lappers jumped in front of us and just lost sight of them, and it was hard to track them back down.
Now, I think before the white flag, I want to say your lap time was right up there with McGill's, who had the fastest of that lap. So, you know, you're right on pace, man. You think you'd been in third? We had one more lap out of this one?
I don't know about that. I mean, we were pushing, but it was just it was tough out there. It was tough to get going. Like I said, we caught a bunch of lappers, but all in all, I mean, the hills out there, pretty crazy, and I can't thank Maxis enough for getting me up these hills. I mean, it was pretty tough out there.
Well, great work, man. Chris, huge congratulations to you today with the third place finish. Who are the sponsors and folks that helped make it happen for you?
Well, yeah, definitely my mom and my dad, my wife Dawn. Without them, I mean, obviously I wouldn't be up here. Her family, my buddies, Steve, my brother Jared, I mean, just Handy, everybody that came out. Ken back at home, he helps me out a little bit with fuel and stuff, so like I said, can't thank those guys enough. But first, Maxis tires hooked up awesome out there, like I said. Wiseco, Scott Goggles, CV4, Serbies, Forworks, Yield Cycle Barn, and McCormick's, awesome help. They're always out in the woods, Dougie Hunter and all them. SSI decals for always keeping this bike looking fresh and clean. Fox Shocks, VP Fuels, Twin Air filters, tire balls, Quad Tech, OIP, Trek, Henson, IQ, Precision, Walsh Racing, HMF, AMSOIL, the guys that fly for always keeping us in fresh gear, and Shoei, and just all the fans out here. I mean, this is Wainoa country, and I try to come up and make it as many as I can, so thank you guys.
There we go. New York, give it up for third place finisher Chris BORICH. Got to wiggle with it. That looks pretty good. Adam, what are we eating, man?
Some birthday cake, baby.
Birthday cake. How old? 29?
It ain't mine. It's a used rider this morning, had a birthday today, and I said, if we get up on the podium, I want a piece of cake. So I got one piece for me and one for Walker and one for Chris. They want it. Obviously, they're going to have to smooze me for it. Right. But, you know, we're just having a little bit of cake up here. I told him I would do it if I got on the podium for him. So happy birthday, man.
Well, there you go. There's to you. I'll give you a little time. Chew, chew, chew. Adam, man, you're out in front in this one, and you come away with the second place. I won't say too much. I think you're about to punch me in the last interview. So, man, talk to us about this race today.
Everything went well. The bike started pretty good. I think we was just a little too far on the inside, but, I mean, who's counting, right? So we took off. I think we was like 5th or 6th going into the woods. Was fighting with Merritt. Got around Merritt. He ended up pulling over for me, letting me go. Fought with Neil for a bit. Got around him, and I caught up with Chris. Believe it or not, he looked back. He pulled over. I'm like, let's run, baby. So we run for a while, and he lashed on to me, and I don't know if he bobbled a little bit or something, but I got away from him.
I could smell blood in the water. The gator was swimming there, baby. And I mean, we was close. As you guys can see, the gator was all over the back of that Walker Fowler machine. So hopefully, when we go to the mountain that McGill built in 2 weeks, hopefully it'll be a different story. But the kid rode good today. He rode a hell of a race, and we was right there. And you know, we're progressively getting better. We're like a steamroller, man. Once we get this thing rolling, it ain't gonna stop it.
I like it, man. All right, so as a secret, going into the next round, just adding a little more camo?
Yeah, maybe we'll do just a little bit more camo. You guys saw I did the camo hood. Gonna sneak up on him. Believe it or not, we did. We got in the lead for a little bit, led for a while, and he passed me in one of these field sections. We got into some lap traffic, and he come through in one of the ditches, like through the mud, and I'm like, oh God. I said, I really hope he knows what he's doing. He come through, spun it sideways, and I had pulled out of it. I mean, he took a big chance, and he got it. And there's a couple more lines that I was able to use and was going to use, but I ended up killing the bike and lost about 10 or 15 seconds. I think we were right back down to 5, but you know, the kid rode good all day long, and just mental mistakes, little things like that. But for the most part, this Gator at 450 run really good today.
Great work, man. Who are your sponsors and folks you want to thank today?
Definitely my father. You know, prepping this thing. You know, hats off to him. I try every race to break it, and he does really well. You know, my wife at home, my 2 puppies, my mom, my 2 sisters. You know, the one sister trains me, and it's working out really well. So, you know, CST tires did great all day long. No problem. My Rage motor pulled really good. You know, Lone Star DC Pro components, you know, 1 and 2. My Custom Axis shocks. Moose Racing, you know, they got some new stuff coming out in the end of August or the beginning of August, so you definitely need to check that out. You know, Induction Solutions with that nitrous, we're getting it better. We ain't quite got that whole shop, we're getting it better. Loud Performance, Hybrid by Weld wheels, all balls, get it. FMS, Cycra, you know, tire blocks, Quadtech with the camo hood. Dirtworks, UPP, Wiseco, Vanilla Gorilla Skids, LEAT, Fast, IMS Tanks, RGs for the machines, Streamline, RGR, Worst Connected, Scott, DP, Renegade Fuel, Sunstar, Twin Air, you know, Evans Coolant, they're here today. You know, this bike just run into the ground and didn't overheat one bit. Outerwears, Mayer, Alco, Boysen, Pirate MX, you know, and all these guys, you fans, all you youth riders out there, you guys are getting really impressing me. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Hopefully we'll be right over there.
All right, there you go, guys. Give it up for Adam McGill. Oh, that got me a little bit. Walker Fowler, how you doing? You want to come on up here, center of the box? All right. Well, talk to us, man. Back up here, center of the box. You and Adam were battling today. I know there's a story to tell.
Definitely. I don't know what's going on with my starts, other than that Camp Coca race. I had a real bunch of good starts at the beginning of the year, and they've just gone progressively downhill from there. I got a lot of work to do on that.
Cake?
Ooh, cake.
That's how easy it is to distract them. Cake? Beer? No, not yet.
Working on it. Ooh, I'm gonna have to hold off. Thank you.
That's fine. That's fine. You hang on to it. Whose birthday? Boy from the youth in this morning. We're pointing. Right there. Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday. It's really good.
Very good cake. All right, so Walker, back to the... I'm sorry, man. That was my fault. Or Adam's. We're going to blame it on the Gator over there, man.
Oh, the Gator. You got to love him. But luckily, we were ahead of him off the start, or else I think it had been a real long day. Went into the woods 4th. I think Neil was 5, and I think Adam was 6th. And I think for Adam, that's one of his worst starts, too. We usually were all right up in the front. Just, Landon Wolfe had a real good pace going up front. Marty Christopherson was riding really well. Chris was in front of me, and you know, usually I'm like gotta go, and it took pretty much till the end of the lap there to get in the lead. I feel like a wreck right now. I got icing everywhere.
Well, you'll have champagne in a minute to clean up.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, the first lap there was a lot of water. I was impressed at how wet this place actually is. The last 2 years have been absolute dust bowls.
Catch.
But thank you. But yeah, like I said, a lot of water. We were kind of easing through it, and I just knew after the first lap it would get blown out and it would be pretty muddy, and it was going to be pretty much an all-out war. So we finished that first lap, had a 5-second lead or so, and second lap I stretched it out to about 15, but I think Chris was pushing Adam, and they were catching me pretty quick, and got into some lap traffic. There was a lot of bikes on the trail, and not a whole lot of places for them to go, so there was some spots, you know, they could move if they wanted to, and other guys were racing you, but overall there was spots where they just couldn't get out of the way, and you'd lose a lot of time, and it made for a very close race. And Adam caught up. We were pretty much nose to tail there. Third lap, he got ahead of me. I just started riding over my head a little bit because he was really trying to make moves in the fields, getting beside me and showing a wheel here and there. So I just was pushing a little bit hard, trying to get away from him, and just popped out of a rut, tagged a tree. He said he got it on GoPro, so I'm excited to see that here next week on YouTube. But, you know, we just put our head down, and, man, a mile later, I made up probably 8 or 9 seconds. I hopped off the bike and got it back on the trail and just took off. I knew there was a one field section, and this field section was all I had left, probably to make some passes. And sure enough, he must have got caught up with some lap traffic, made that 9 seconds right back up, and right before we went back in the woods, I just sent it, man. Just big muddy section, whooped out thing. I don't know. He said it was really ugly. It felt pretty ugly, but man, I got in the lead and was like, well, you know, let's just keep her on the trail. I think I got around a lap guy. He pulled off, and I think he cleaned him off the track. So I had some breathing room. Thought it was smooth sailing, and man, mile from the finish or so over here, I think, just, I don't know what I did. I got tangled up with another guy and got stuck on a hill, and I heard Adam coming, and I just could not get moving. And by the time I got rolling, he was right there again. So, like I said, I knew he was pretty good in these fields. Showed me a wheel lap before, so we brought her into the finish with a win, but it wasn't pretty, and Adam definitely was right there, and, you know, Chris was pretty close too. So it's, as the year goes on, it's getting closer and closer. Now we're headed to the mountain of McGillville, and I've only won there once. I'd really like to make it twice, but the gods are definitely with him at that track. So we're going in the underdog, I think.
You might be right, Ed. It's absolutely true, man. Well, big congratulations to you. Back up here, center of box, and boy, you're going to have your work cut out for you in the next round. Walker, who are the sponsors and folks you'd like to thank today?
I definitely want to give the glory to God first and foremost, and definitely all these fans. Without you guys, you know, it wouldn't be nearly as much fun, and it definitely wouldn't probably pay our bills. So thank you guys. This is one of the bigger turnouts we had, and definitely a lot of racers out here today, and everyone was super friendly and pointing lines and stuff, getting down in the mud and the nitty gritty, so appreciate it. Definitely got to give a big thanks to my mom, my dad, my mechanic, Mark Notman. They do so much for me, the whole Notman family, during the week, helping, especially after that last Mudfest. It was a lot of prep and clean up and a lot of destroyed things. So it took us a lot of, you know, I'm kind of glad that Penton got moved back because we needed some time to get some things figured out. But we got it done, so thank you. Definitely want to give a shout out to my beautiful girlfriend, her family, all the Pipers, everyone in Florida that watches the races, my whole family that's also watching online. Hey guys, appreciate you spending 2 hours with us. And definitely the whole NFAB, or sorry, not NFAB, but whoa, there you go, Randy. The WFR Maxxis Yamaha FMF Fly Racing Team, Lone Star, Maxima Lubricants, Gold Speed Wheels, back to Maxxis. We got 2 up here. It was definitely slick today, so definitely a good tire to have. Fast Company, GYTR, Alpine Stars, Atlas Neck Brace, Tire Balls is another good one. Days like today, you know, we adjust our tire ball pressure a little softer so we can get some traction on these slick days. So without those guys, we wouldn't be able to do that. Can't do that with foam either. Definitely webcam has got this thing running awesome. Waynesburg Yamaha, I saw Brian out here. Hey Brian, appreciate it. Precision steering stabilizers. I think it's a sweep for precision up here. Anti-gravity batteries, Moto Seat, Vortex, IMS, Intense Fabrication, Hiller International Trucks, DP Brakes, CB4, Scott Goggles, Cycra, Works Connection, ODI, VP Racing Fuels, Carb Sport, definitely shout out to Carb Sport. We got VP in the machine, but we got Carb Sport in the tummy. Richardson Cooling Packages, D&V Trucking, Fuel Customs. And again, man, all the fans appreciate it. All these guys, Adam, appreciate the good, hard racing, but clean racing.
There we go, everybody. Give it up for first place finisher, Walker Fowler. And we'll give you guys a opportunity to jump up there with the overall trophies and take a look at this Tomahawk. Doesn't get much cooler than that, and enjoy the spoils of victory with the champagne showers.
That's right, Mikey, and taking a look at that trophy as well. Look at that, another unique trophy and one that is exciting to take home and put on that mantle. And race fans here in New York, put your hands together one more time for our top 3 overall. Third place, Chris BORICH. Second place, Adam McGill and Walker Fowler, taking 3 wins straight here at the Tomahawk. GNCC is the only one to win the overall here so far in this afternoon race, and he is the only one to get the big bottle of champagne. Look at that. He's so excited. The champagne was already popping, but there it is. To the victor goes the spoils, and the spoils in GNCC, the sweet, sweet spray of champagne. The crowd gets doused down here today. You know, looking up there on that podium, it wasn't very many years ago. It doesn't seem like that we were watching Walker Fowler tear up the trail in the youth ranks, and that's exactly what began the race day here today in GNCC. And he's no youth rider anymore. There's no doubt about that. But, boy, we had some great youth racing earlier this morning, and talk about excitement. One rider actually was able to take the whole shot and the win, but everything that went on in between that, it sure wasn't an easy race, but it sure was a whole lot of fun to watch, and we had a chance to catch up with those guys earlier.
Lane McCormick, man, start to finish, this one was yours.
Had an amazing whole shot, and then just I had a plan coming into the race. I wanted to pull away and have my own race and lead the rest of the way and get to the finish in first.
Great work, man. You going to do this next round?
I'm going to try as hard as I can through the rest of the season.
All right, back to you guys in the studio.
And also congratulations to our second place finisher, which was Colton Buck, and Devin Carruthers, who took the third place position. Congratulations to those youth riders, as well as the swag is flying here in Odessa, New York. And look at the crowd. I mean, that's just a small sector of the crowd that we have up there at the podium. And folks, if you saw the crowd that we had on the starting line down there, that would start to make you think, wow, it looks like we are in New York, because we are. You think that had kind of Unadilla-ish effect look to it when you seen all those people around the starting line there a little bit ago. And I don't know what that's going to mean for tomorrow's racing for 1 o'clock, but it's going to be pretty exciting, or all day long tomorrow, and 1 o'clock race as well. And speaking of 1 o'clocks, be sure and join us tomorrow at 1 o'clock, as we'll be live right here on RacerTV.com from the Tomahawk for the pro bike racing. And then, of course, tomorrow on NBC Sports Network, NBCSN, round 6, the X Factor will be broadcasting at 3 o'clock, so you can set your recorders to check that out. And on Wednesday, June 14th, we'll have the repeat of round 6, the X Factor GNCC. Saturday, June 17th, we'll be actually playing the event from today's racing at 12 noon on Saturday, June 17th. And also a repeat of this weekend's racing highlights from the Tomahawk GNCC on June 21st. So right down June 17th and June 21st for the Tomahawk GNCC. Tomorrow and Wednesday for round 6 X Factor on NBC Sports. And again, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we'll be right here live on RacerTV.com, so we hope to see you folks over here for that. And we also are looking forward to some micro racing, as our friends here in the Western New York Off-Road Association has brought out in full force. All the micro participants will have a micro motorcycle and micro ATV race coming up here in a few moments. And then we will call this a race day, as we'll get ready for Two Wheels tomorrow. Got another podium presentation to get underway here in just a moment. Just to give you a heads up and an idea, remember we were talking about top amateurs, Dustin Hendershot and AJ were battling in that vet A28 plus class there. Well, when it was all said and done, with a lap to go, we told you that John Glotta was a man on a mission, man on a move. Well, he moved into the 19th place overall position, moved ahead of everyone else in all the other amateur division classes. So John Glotta, finishing 19th, will be our overall top amateur today. Drew Landers, his competitor, was 16 seconds back in 20th place overall and second in the class. But again, look at those Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com overall results. Fowler, McGill, BORICH, McLaurin 4th, Landon Wolfe, way to go, buddy. LW gets a 5th place position. Devin Feehan 6th overall, winning the XC2 Pro-Am class. We'll talk to him in just a moment. Josh Merritt, got to take our hat off to that young man. We're really starting to see some big things out of him, and on more than one occasion. So this is something I think that is building for the number 10 machine. Johnny Gallagher, last race winner, finishes 8th overall. An astounding ride for him as he went from 18th up to 6th, and then couple of spots after some time adjustments, drops back to the 8th place position. Wesley Wolfe, our top finishing rookie in the XC1 Pro class today out of Myersville, Maryland, will finish 9th. And Marty Christofferson, also a rookie, he finished up in the 10th place position out of Richford, New York. And that's our top 10 overall here at the Dunlop Tomahawk GNCC. It all runs together after a while, friends. I'm sorry. And we are resetting the stage right now for our top 3 XC2 Pro-Am riders. Again, follow us on Instagram. Now, you can follow GNCC if you're following that. That's great. But we also want you on board at RacerTV. So follow RacerTV on Instagram at RacerTV, Facebook, and also on Twitter at RacerTV. Real simple and easy to do, and it'll keep you up to date with all the things that are going on here in the GNCC Racing Nation. And speaking of the GNCC Racing Nation, New York is what's happening in the GNCC Racing Nation. As we got a New York sweep of the podium, we head down with Mikey Nichols to celebrate.
That's Mikey Waynes. That's all right. That's Mikey Nichols.
Mikey. I'm sorry, Mikey. Mikey Nichols is from New York, so there you go. How about
That's
Mikey
right.
Waynes?
Mike, that's okay. We got him last week, too. I'll have to tell Mikey. He'll be excited about that. Hey, New York, one more time. I don't know if you heard, but these boys are all from New York. All right, man. Hunter Hart, man, how you been? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a few good weeks. It's been great to have a little break in between, but it was definitely fun to get back at it this week at a track that's so close to home.
It's got to be a good feeling. I love that you always have Frisbees. First of all, that just brings me so much joy. So talk to us about this race, man. You had a battle out there. You had your work cut out for you today.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think we were 4th or 5th going into the woods on the first lap. Made a few good passes there, gained the lead before we crossed the road, and we were just charging hard. We went in, the quad started to sputter a little bit on the 6-7, and I was like, that's not good. And then we ended up actually having it shut off completely on us over by the 2, but sat there for probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes until my buddy Brian McCormick and Doug Hunter came over, and we tried to get that thing started, and Brian Wolfe also helped us try and get it started, and then we ended up getting it started. I finished the lap, we pitted, and we ended up cut the vent hose line, and then it ran good from there on out, and then around the end of the 3rd lap, we smoked a rock, ripped the rotor guard off, and ended up bending the rear rotor, so we didn't have any rear brakes after that. But I mean, all things considered, it was definitely good. We were in eighth at the end of the 2nd lap, and it was hard looking at that and being like, man, we can do this. But ended up just putting my head down, and it was good. It was definitely good because I think it was so close to home that it was nice and had the advantage, almost.
I'm going to be honest, we were pulling for you. Try not to show bias, but we saw you back there, and I thought, we're going to have a New York sweep. I just know it. So, man, good work out there. Who are your sponsors and people you want to thank today?
Definitely God was up there keeping me in his prayers today. My mom, my dad, Ithaca Recreation Sports.
That's what the Frisbee's for.
Spider Graphics, Storm Peak CrossFit, Conover Collision, Muddy Content, Seat Concepts, Evans Water with Coolant, Maxxis Tires, Carb Sport, Alaska Motorsports, HMF, Scott Goggles, Quad Tech, Fox, Hauser, DP Brakes, MotorX, BNR, Fox, and everybody that was cheering me on out there, and my grandma and grandpa for coming up, and my girlfriend Courtney.
All right, doesn't get much better than that. Hunter Hart. All right, coming down the line here, Mr. Greg Covert. Greg, also from New York. I don't know if we mentioned that. Does that get old?
No, not at all.
Not at all, man. Well, you guys, you did have one heck of a battle out there today, and I know there's a story to tell.
Yeah, definitely. Got off to a good start, better than normal, like right behind Hunter, actually, and looked behind me, and Devin was right behind me, so I knew it was going to be one of those days, and me and Hunter kind of made some smart passes, and we got in 1st and 2nd there, like you said, and he had some issues there the 2nd lap, and I led for a little bit, and Devin was just riding real good all day long, and I was struggling a bit the first 2 laps. Finally, kind of something clicked there the 3rd lap, and started feeling a little bit better. But yeah, all in all, a pretty good day. Didn't make any mistakes, so I'm happy with 2nd.
Happy with 2nd, and I might add too that all 3 of you guys went to the school visit this last week. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So for all of our riders out there listening, pay attention, because it seems like whenever you guys do the school visits, you come away with a podium finish. So good work, brother. Who are the sponsors and folks you want to thank out there?
definitely can't thank my family enough, my mom and dad, my brother, his girlfriend Lily, her family, and my aunts and uncles and cousins that all came out, and friends cheer me on. It's a great team effort, and I wouldn't be up here without them. And we got high gear suspension, Goldspeed, Waynesburg Yamaha, Moto Experts, Hauser, Fast Flex, FMF, Spider Graphics, Precision Racing, FPS, Fly Racing, IMS, Works Connection, DP Brakes, Tire Balls, Braptec, Cycra, XC Quad Racers, Elko, Scott Goggles, and Ori Grip.
There we go. Everybody give it up for second place finisher Greg Covert. I guess I could have just turned right around. That's all right. Devin Feehan. No stranger to first place, man. Give it up for New York's own Devin Feehan. So talk to us a little bit about this this race. You know what? The season in general, you guys have had a very, very competitive class.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's what makes this fun. I come out here to race. You know, I'm not out here to, you know, win everything, but as long as I can have a good time racing and I'm happy with where I finish, then it's a good day.
That's exactly right. That sums it up perfect, man. So fast forwarding to today, what did it take to get up here center of the box?
Just had to ride smart and tell myself just to have fun, and it was a great track, had fun with it, and just kept this thing rolling.
Well, great work. We're going to see you up here again in a couple weeks in West Virginia?
I guess we'll see in a few weeks.
All right, man. Sounds good. Who are your sponsors and people you want to thank today?
First off, I'd like to thank my whole family. There's, you know, a ton of family showed up being in New York here, and a lot of friends, anyone cheering me on out on the track. Even my trainer, Kathy, came, and my girlfriend, my brothers, like I said, anyone out there cheering me on. It means so much. And high gear suspension, MR Unlimited Motors, RJR, Tire Spine. We got Spider Graphics, GBC Tires, RJR, WYATT, Fox, Vanilla Gorilla, Hinson Clutches, Renthal, Fast Flex, Quad Tech Seats, and yeah, that's about it.
That's about it. All right, everybody, give it up for first place finisher, Devin Feehan. All right, as Devin Feehan pops bottles and enjoys the spoils of victory right there with the champagne showers. So that is just about going to do it. Hunter Hart is going to toss some Frisbees. Hunter, do you play disc golf? Judging by that throw, you may want to stick to ATV riding. And I might add, too, we also had a hole shot winner. Oh, we're chasing each other. We had from All Balls Racing the $100 hole shot. That went to Cameron Bruce right out of the gate. I wish. You got the, are you Cameron Bruce? There's Cameron Bruce. He's right up here. How we doing, boys? Cameron Bruce, man, whoa, I almost fell. I'll try not. How's that lemonade shake-up treating you?
Oh, man, it's a bomb. Let me tell you. They need to get one.
They need to, all right. Well, Cameron, talk to us a little bit about the race today. Obviously, hole shot going home $100 richer, man. Talk to us about this race.
Yeah, man, I pulled out an early lead there, and I got going and felt real good, and then I let these guys around me, and I ended up getting back around Hunter when he had an issue, and I just ran out in third for about the last lap, and when Hunter finally caught me, we battled pretty good there, and then he got around me, and I just, yeah, we did. That was fun. We ended up doing it pretty good, and then he pulled out a little bit on me because I made a mistake, and I just rode her in for fourth, so I'll take it.
I'll take it. Well, man, who are your sponsors and folks you'd like to thank today?
You know, first and foremost, I need to thank my dad, because without him, I wouldn't even be here. And Ryan at B&R Motorsports, because he does everything on my bike, and that's, without him, it ain't running the way it is. And I want to also thank, Recluse and VP Fuel and GBC Tire, HMF, and let's call that a day.
Call that a day. Cameron Bruce, good job, brother. We're going to see you up on the podium next round. All right, there we go. Cameron Bruce, your hole shot winner out of the XC2 class.
All righty, that's going to wrap it up, it looks like, as we wrap up those podium presentations. Don't want to forget that we invite you back here again tomorrow at 1 o'clock as we'll continue with the two-wheel side of things. Caleb Russell going to get back on the center of the box. What's going to happen out there? Who's going to be able to maybe make things happen there? It's going to be an exciting day here in New York tomorrow as we continue the excitement here. And, of course, we got micro racing coming up, so those of you folks here on hand with us at the track are going to enjoy that. We'll tell you all about it tomorrow on RacerTV.com. On behalf of Mikey Waynes, Michael Swift, and all of us here at RacerTV.com, I'm Rodney Tomlin saying good day, everybody. And back down to the podium with Mikey Waynes, where we